about to start the last podcast he ever does.
What? Welcome to another edition of the Adam Dunn Show. I'm your host, Adam Dunn.
I'm Dave Charnick.
Dave is sidetracking the show
And
right out of the gate.
Right out of the gate.
Can't even let us start a show.
We're already
properly.
off the rails, y'all.
Yeah,
Because
totally.
I'm fanboying out, man.
And we're
I know
here
that. I'm
at the
very
Adam Dunn
excited.
Show, Dave. Remember whose show it is?
It's the Adam Dunn Show.
Got to slap him around a little bit. It's Dave's show, though. It is actually Dave's show. Today is Dave's dream show.
It's not my dream show.
Oh, my God. You do not even want to
It
know.
is.
You
I'm
do not
very
even wanna
excited.
know. We have.
There can be shades of dream, right? It doesn't have to be like this is the end-all, be-all. I've been waiting forever and
I
I'm
have
ending
many
my
dreams.
podcasting career.
I'm not saying it's your only dream. I'm just saying it is a dream.
Yeah, you're not wrong about that.
There you go. That's
You're
all
not
I
wrong
want to
about
do.
that.
Don't,
Absolutely. You're definitely
don't fight
not wrong.
me. Don't fight me on that.
Don't fight, Adam.
We have coming, well, actually already here, waiting in the wings, professional as always, because we're not, and
Right.
proving us once again to be the show we've always been, which is, we bring you the best. Sometimes this is the thing. We can pull rabbits out of the hat all the time.
Redman,
And this is one of
Cheech
those
and
rabbits.
Chong,
Yeah.
Ed Rosenthal,
Well, that's just a regular.
Vince Cadlubeck, Meow Wolf,
Big Daddy. So yeah, we got big names sometimes.
Jackie Martling,
Jackie Martling.
the
coming
Joke Man,
himself.
the guy, the person who, as a young Dave, 15 or 16 years old, heard an adult talking about smoking pot, and they were a professional. It wasn't your dealer, your buddy Dave Bloomstein, you used to have to beep to get him to show up.
This is when it was like when you heard the words weed or pot or anything, your ears perked up. Because
Yeah.
this is weird.
Yeah.
Huh?
People
It's like I
went-
used to go to the library and look around I used to go through the thing and look up the words
But-
cannabis. There's 4 books in this library about cannabis. I'm gonna find them. It was like.
But the way it was mentioned, it was never like a topic of conversation on his show. It was, Jackie smoking pot again, or it smelled, somebody heard it smelled it reeking from his room or something like that. I'm like, wait a minute, you can do that? That's
Spectacular.
you can actually, and that's when it, the worm turned or the glass broke or the eggshell cracked, and there was no going back from
Brain cell
that.
popped.
Yeah, there was no going back because everything prior to that was in complete seclusion. My aunt and uncles in California, it was, in the back room. You didn't really talk about it. They were always afraid after what happened in the early 80s. And to hear them talk about that, use the phrase, a pothead, about a professional who I listen to every day on the radio was game-changing.
Back in the radio day. Back in the radio. People-
So why don't we welcome him to
That's
the
it.
show? I did see him in the background there.
Let's bring him on.
bring
Let's
him
bring
on.
him on.
I'm
We'd like
so
to
excited
thank
for this.
Jackie Marlin for being on the show.
Hey,
buddy.
there he is.
Glad we have you framed properly.
Hi, Jackie.
Hi, Jackie. Pleasure to meet you. Thank you for taking time of your day. I know Fridays were not the best days for you, so I really appreciate it.
So far, everything I've witnessed, the only conclusion I've drawn is the inmates have certainly taken over the asylum. I have no idea what you're talking about or what you're doing. I
Thank you
can't
for
see
seeing
that.
us.
Well, I see that. If those are little jars of pot, I hope that's my reward for coming on the show, and that they'll be in the mail tomorrow.
We
I
don't
hope
we
they're
don't
my
pay our
money.
guests, Jackie. There'll be no compensation. Your compensation will be the genetics that
We're not
we will-
talking about money. We're talking about barter.
Oh, yeah,
I've been
well-
growing pot for 25 years, and I give it out.
Don't
I
you worry,
smoke
Jackie. We
so
got you
little of
covered.
it,
We got you covered.
We got you covered.
And I don't need your pot. I'm just being. That was my
We
my
understand.
role on the Stern Show was to be a glom. So I'm just trying to.
Hey, I got mine right here. That's his role.
I fashioned my career out around what
He
you
is-
did.
he's pretty
I'm
much-
just not as funny.
Yeah, he's pretty much, that's his job. So we
Do you know they used to ship us so much stuff at the Stern Show on the outside chance that maybe Howard was going to mention something, and when there's 20 million people listening, the smallest mention is so invaluable. And they would send cases. Different companies would send cases of DVDs, porn DVDs.
Oh yeah.
And I used to, and I would take the cases, and everybody thought I was the biggest horn dog in the world, which I am, but I've never watched porn. I don't care about porn. I never cared about it ever. But I take those big boxes and give them to the parking garage guys, and they love me. When I came down, my car was waiting for me. They would clean it. it's all about the barter. That's all.
Jackie, we would never stoop to such depths of anything like that of ever mentioning. But by the way, this part of the show is sponsored by Kaya Cannabis. 2 locations, Lakewood and Colfax, and then one in Lakewood. They're fire cannabis. You got to try this cold cure live rosin.
Who am I talking to? Where am I talking to? Los Angeles?
No, we're in Denver.
Oh, yes. No, we're Denver, Colorado.
Oh.
Yeah. We're low grade here. We don't have California.
I'm from here. What are you talking about
Dave's-
low grade?
Dave doesn't know
Don't
what he's
listen to him,
talking
Jackie.
about.
I'm a New Yorker.
We're in Denver,
I
Colorado.
spent-
You ever make your way here, and we'll take great care of you.
I spent 7 months working construction, and we all lived in Cherry Creek. There were 8 guys from my hometown here in Oyster Bay, and we all lived together in a condo and worked construction. We lived in Cherry Creek.
That's a nice area.
It is now
And
the Beverly
it
Hills.
was so
of-
fun. But this is 1973, and every place you look, help wanted, help wanted. The place was growing like crazy.
Yeah.
And we were form setters for concrete, and it was so much fun. But after a certain amount of time, I looked at my hands, and they were just one solid blister. I said, "This is bullshit. I can't even play my guitar." So I escaped there. But I love Denver. It's beautiful.
It's a beautiful
Lovely
place.
place.
It'll be snowing next week, probably. Maybe 2. Maybe 2.
Yeah,
3.
definitely.
Well, today it was
It's
quite warm.
changing.
So
It was beautiful today, though. We've got the sun shining today. You're actually in New York, Jackie?
I'm on the north shore of Long Island in a gorgeous little hamlet called Bayville, and I live here on the water. I already swam twice today, and it's I live in heaven. Before I wound up off the show, I was smart enough to pay off all my houses and make sure I was secure. So, I have no money, but I couldn't be happier. So
That's
it's that
beautiful.
simple.
happiness is the new wealth.
Yeah.
To quote,
you can't put a price.
Jackie Mason used to say, "I never have to work another day in my life unless I want to buy something."
He smacked me in the face once.
Who, Jackie Mason?
Yeah.
Really?
What did he catch you listening to him?
No, remember in the 80s when he was going through the custody battle? When there was that
course.
little girl that looked exactly like him and he was trying to claim it wasn't his daughter? We had just come from a play. I was 16 years old in 1986, 87. We were walking in the city. He walks right past us with the most gorgeous blonde, half his age, a third his age, on his arm. A friend of mine has a camera. I grab her camera. I run up to him. I said, "Excuse me, Mr. Mason, can I take a photo with you?" He's, "I'm in a rush, kid." And he keeps walking. And now all my friends in this moment are about to rip on me that I just got completely denied by Jackie Mason and his, the girl, right? So rather than take one, I went, "Well, then can I take a photo with your wife?" And he turned around with a huge smile on his face. He gives me a smack and he goes, "You're a funny kid. Come here." And we took a photo together.
Great.
Yep.
That guy, I lived on 56th and Broadway. I had an apartment there for 20 years, and that was his hang right in that area. He's always in the local restaurants, and then they ripped down the restaurant and built a McDonald's. He didn't care. He hung out at the McDonald's. And he'd always sit there. And the crowds would always got, comedians and other show business people right in that area. And he would hold court, and he was always fun. But he was such an idiot. But he was always dating these girls that were 6 inches taller than him. And I used to tell people it looked like the girl was walking him. Like he was her pet, and he would waddle. But he was actually a good friend for a long time. He was just a character. I knew him since 1979, a long time.
The law of averages states that mostly everybody is going to be taller than Jackie Mason. So, that really wouldn't matter.
Like
He's a
they
short
were
guy.
walking him is fucking hysterical.
Well, that photo you sent me today of Milton Berle giving you a handwritten note was so... the timing on that was so perfect because I think I was listening to a show from like 1999 when Milton
You're a moron. You just texted me that you had listened to the Milton Berle interview, and that's why I sent that.
I love it. That was
a coincidence.
I wanted it. I was setting that up for the show.
Jackie, you're fucking great.
Called me out. Called me out.
That wasn't a coincidence.
I know it's.
And he's getting all red.
Adam's show, and I don't know Adam, and I don't know Adam from Adam.
That's right.
You don't know me.
And Dave, there was no mention of this lovely woman who I assume is not Danny Danko.
No. He's lurking in the background. He definitely wants to be on.
So you never said anything about a girl?
Totally unprofessional. I told you unprofessional from the beginning.
This is our co-host.
Danko told you. This is our co-host, Katie.
I'm Katie.
Hi,
Jackie,
Katie.
it's so
She's
lovely
a
to meet you.
co-host, and she wasn't worth mentioning.
Jackie, thank you. Thank you for fucking seeing me for probably the first time ever on this show. I love you.
Katie and Adam and Dave.
Yes.
You got it.
It's 3 people.
Well, we have an entire staff of people that work in the background. We just don't like to give out how many people are actually supporting the brilliance that we do on the air once a week.
But 3 is already too many.
3 is a lot.
3 is a ridiculous amount of people for a podcast. And now you're going to pull Danko into this and have a guest. I don't know what you're smoking, but it looks like you're smoking just about anything you can get your hands on over there.
This is actually...
Now, where's the pot come from? Adam, are you a famous pot guy?
I am. I'm the guy behind bubblegum back in the day. I'm sure you heard of that strain when you were smoking all the time.
You know, I've been growing pot for so long. I never got really good at it. Now I have an incredible garden, but it's mostly Gorilla Glue because that seems to be what grows best here.
That's the easy
But
one.
at some point, I grew bubble gum.
Oh, nice. There you
And
go.
I remember I was
touched
so
hands.
amazed.
We touched.
I took my nephew out when he was a kid, and I said, Brendan, I don't know. I don't think I'm crazy. What's this smell like? And he goes, that smells like. It really smells like bubble gum.
Yeah, it does.
I love it.
Sweet.
Send me some bubblegum seeds, will you? Where's Danko?
I got you.
Danko's on. He just our producer walked out of the room for a minute to serve some barbecue, and as soon as he gets back on, you'll see
I just sent you a
them.
couple pictures of. We used to have bonfires every July 4th up until about 15 years ago. And Danko was there for a couple of bonfires. That's why I sent you that picture.
Oh, Danko knew. He heard it. He felt. See, what a professional.
Yeah.
What a professional this guy is. We said, we told him.
Why
We said,
fool around?
we said you're going to hear your calling when we call you in. But yeah, so I moved to Amsterdam in '89, and then I moved back in 2010. And in that time period is when I started a seed company, and I had a hemp shop over there, and lived the cannabis life.
Wait, you started a hemp shop in Amsterdam?
Yeah, actually, the first one in Europe. It was strangely enough. When we got there, I used to work for the Hash Museum, and at the Hash Museum, every single person who would come through the museum, at the last question they would ask is, "So where do I get some of this hemp?" And I'd be like, "Oh, dude, I don't even know. Like, there's nowhere to get it, you know." And so then.
So wait, what year was this? Because I was in Amsterdam in like 1998.
Oh yeah, we were there. So we were on the shopping street back then. So we opened up in #93, the first shop.
Oh, so you're already established.
Yeah.
What was the green room?
Greenhouse.
It was the green. Me and my buddy went to a bunch of different places. If I remember right, there were some places where you could go in and smoke pot, but you couldn't buy booze, and other places were bars where you could just drink, and some places where you could do both.
Yep.
And our heads were spinning. And I remember the first time I walked in and bought a joint, I was like, it was so surreal. And then we used to go to this greenhouse because it was very popular. And we were there for like maybe a week. I was off from the Stern Show for a couple of weeks, and we were there for like a week. And like the last day, this guy comes up to me and says, "Hey, I'm the owner of this place. And I just realized who you are. You're Jackie from the Stern Show." And I said, "Yeah." And he gave me this immense bag of pot.
On your last day.
I said, "I'm going home tomorrow." So I took it and hid it in the ivy in front of what was at the time, it was called the Grand Hotel Amsterdam. I don't know how many changes it through, and hid it and my friend Kelly Rogers worked at the comedy, whatever the comedy place was in Amsterdam, and I told him where the pot was hidden.
Nice.
And he went and found the pot. It was like to me, it was like James Bond.
That's
know? It was
awesome.
like
Score, yeah.
Guys, let's try to
we hit
MacGyver
the
this for a
pot.
second.
Don't even worry about it.
Jackie, move to your left
Don't even
a little
worry
bit, and Danko, move to your right, and we'll get you both on camera.
We can see them.
There we go.
That doesn't change the shot.
Yeah, it does.
No, this is not. We're not watching the shot. We're watching.
Oh, see, that's how unprofessional I am. I thought we were watching what we
You're
see.
watching it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway.
Okay.
All right. Whatever.
So you have done this before.
For 7 years. Yeah.
But yeah, it's I think Amsterdam. What year was that? You were talking about 98. You said.
I think 98, 99.
That was
I'm
like
not sure.
that was right before it all changed, because in 99 is when the Euro kicked in, right? So that's when everything changed in Europe. Like, it was still, Holland was Holland and Germany was Germany, and everybody had their own, they had their own autonomy, basically. And now all of a sudden, once the 99 kicked in, it really changed the whole dynamics of that place.
You know what? We wouldn't have known that. We wouldn't have known
no,
that.
of course
I
not.
was, I hadn't quit drinking yet. So all I remember is we bought a joint and we went and sat to have a beer, and we each got a beer and we lit the joint. We each took a toke. And I remember I turned to take a sip of beer. And when I turned around to look at my friend, it took me a second to recognize him. And I'm like, this is some strong fucking pot, man. Holy mackerel. And I took a picture of it because we smoked that joint for 2 days. And then I put what was left of it on the back of the toilet sink so you could see it in the white. And it was still half a joint. We'd been smoking it for 2 days. What a field day that place was. I loved it there, man.
I mean,
How
that was the
long
thing.
did you live there? How long did you live there?
I was there for 21 years.
Oh!
Yes, I got there in the 80s and I left in 2010. So it was kind of a crazy. It was a perfect time period though, because I got there when I was 19 and I left when I was 42.
Well, Jack, you got to ask the question. Who did
Was
he
Anne
move to
Frank
Amsterdam
already
with?
Dead? Was Anne Frank already dead?
Yeah.
She was gone. She was long gone. Actually, my friends lived literally like next door to that place, and so it was such a. Even though it's a city, it's basically like a little village, And when I first got there, I realized, like this, as a 19-year-old, to go to a place. My whole thing was kind of like how probably you were too. I was like, 50 cents for a beer. Like, I can buy a bag of weed for like $10. You know what I mean? I was like,
Everybody's riding around bicycles. I always thought I was on a movie set.
Exactly.
It seemed like a really gentle movie set, and
then
it was just.
And then I got an apartment. I got an apartment there, and I paid $90 a month for my apartment. It was.
I'll take two.
It was 190 guilders, which was 2 to 1 at the time. So it was about, and I had a job that I was making $100 a day. So I was like, holy shit!
wow.
I think I hit the formula right here. I'm making
Jesus
my rent
Christ.
every day. This is perfect. You know what I mean? It's like,
I'll take 30 of these places.
Yeah.
We took a stroll down the red light district, which was totally wonderful. And
When you say a
for the most-
stroll,
it was. I'd love to say we did a million things. We went out and visited the tulip gardens, which like staggering, and we went to see a windmill. And the whole rest of the time we drank and smoked pot. And it was just, and then I went back with my wife and we had just as good a time, but instead of staying at the Golden Tulip out by the airport, by this time we were rich. So it's like 2001, we stayed at the Amsterdam Grand and the manager of the place was a huge fan. So he took us up to the actual room. The top room of the Amsterdam Grand was where it was the county seat or whatever the Amsterdam equivalent of the county was. And, there was a really long table with a big chair in the middle where the guy sat there. So I sat there like I died and went to heaven. It was just, now I'm sorry. I'm going off on, you got me crazy.
right.
this is what we do.
we're all
This
about the
is
tangents
it.
around here.
We get high and chat.
I love it.
So
I love it.
the last time Cheech and Chong were on the show with us, that we were told by their guys, we got them for 25 minutes. That was it. 25 minutes, get them off. 90 minutes later, they were still on with us, kibitzing about things that had happened in elementary school to them. So don't worry. Don't you worry.
Did you know they were on the Stern Show?
Oh yeah, many times.
They hadn't spoke to each other in like 20 years or something, and they came on our Channel 9 show, which was, we had a TV show for 2 years. It was
WOR.
absolutely crazy. And we did The Christmas Story with Cheech and Chong. And Cheech and Chong were Joseph, and Howard was on a donkey, and he was pregnant, and he was Mary. And I can't tell you how offensive. And then we had the manger, and the manger, the baby Jesus was our producer, who was a very, very sweet but very ugly gentleman who wore glasses. So he's lying there completely covered in hay with a doll's body going up to his shin, so it looked like a baby. But here he is with his glasses. And the animals in the manger were a sheep and a donkey and an Italian guy with a monkey and an organ grinder. He was an organ grinder with a monkey in the fucking manger. It was so offensive. Holy Christ. It was just wonderful. And I said, and I went on some podcasts with Tommy and said, do you remember? And he said, do I remember, man? Are you fucking crazy? What do you mean, do I remember? Because that was
haunted him for his entire career.
Yeah.
Even for them, that was very over the top, Damn. Oh, great fun. Sorry, I don't mean to get yakking. I haven't seen anybody all day.
No, I love the story.
Jackie, it's a talk show.
So Katie, you're married to Adam. You're married to Dave.
No,
all three of us.
I'm
We're a
actually
throuple.
single. I am single, Jackie.
Right. That's why they're not showing me a close-up of you. Is
that what it is?
Yeah.
Show this man a close-up of me. I'm
I'm
quite
on my way
adorable.
out
I
there.
assure you, my friend.
Very adorable.
Single. That's great. So you like men or not?
Oh, right out of the gate.
I do love men. I love everybody.
No, wait a minute. What do you mean right out of the gate? You don't.
No, that wasn't right out of the gate. He's a right out of the gate guy.
What are you talking about? What are you going to do? Tell a hair-raising story to a bald-headed guy?
You should have heard what I said the moment she walked in the studio. I'm completely inappropriate.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking
he doesn't
about.
take his time at all.
No, I didn't understand. I'm not on a dating site. I don't know what you would put on a dating site. And let's just say I made a crass joke.
Oh.
Yeah.
Come on, Dave. Let Jackie cook.
Are you wearing a wig?
Am I wearing a wig?
No, it's Dave wearing a wig.
I could wear a wig.
Skull cap. Dave's skull cap.
My hair was red before I
Jackie.
joined the show.
Hey!
Hi,
Danko.
Danny. I'm so happy to see you, my friend.
Hey, how you guys doing?
So wonderful.
Don't
How are
forget
you
about
this
Danko.
afternoon?
How you doing, sir?
Danny, are you
We were
in
talking
Brooklyn?
about you right before you came
I'm in Brooklyn. Yep. I'm in Brooklyn, and this is all fun and games. We're having a lot of fun here, but I want you guys to understand, one of the great things about Jackie is not just that he talked about cannabis all those years on Howard and the comedy and everything, but he'll tell you right now that cannabis helped him get off alcohol. There's the close-up. There you go, Jackie.
Thank you.
Wow.
But cannabis, Jackie,
Gosh.
Jackie,
Keep going.
Danko, I'm not going to hear anything.
Tell Adam and Dave. Tell them.
I'm staring at Katie. I could care less about what you're saying.
No, me too. But tell them what weed meant to you as far as helping you.
Weed did not help me get off booze. But when I quit booze, I did not quit pot. And it wasn't like, I got to get high. I was, I've never, when I was a drinker, I drank and I drank too much a lot of the time. Thank God for the Stern Show. I would have been dead. How drunk, you can't get that drunk if you got to get up at 4:30 in the morning. So I'd have to wait, and, it saved my life. But I never quit smoking pot because pot to me has never been any kind. I don't know if I was addicted to booze. I don't think I was addicted to it. I just loved how much fun, you start drinking and you start having fun, and that's just what happens. If you're a little bit outgoing, you have a few drinks, you get crazy. But pot has never had a crazy lure for me. Like I could go a year without smoking pot, and then I could smoke pot every day for 3 months. It's like, it was never anything that really drew me in. I mean, there's been years where I grew so much pot, and I had to go looking for people to give it to because I smoked so little of it. It's great. I grow pot and I fill up my attic. I hang it upside down and then give it away. And then each year, my goal is to have given the last bit of it away when it's time to harvest and stick them all up again. And I got
Sounds
a
like
great
Adam.
crop this year.
That's the goal right there. That is the goal. That is the
Might have to
most people's
smoke
goal.
some. So, Adam, the big question is, why did you come back from Amsterdam?
It was kind of classic, like writing on the wall. I was in America doing a little tour, checking out the different states, and with no intentions of moving to America. But then one guy had said to me, like, what would it take for you to move out here? Because I'd love to put up a grow. Danny knows who I'm talking about is Pig. Remember Pig? You know Pig, of course, right? So he's your classic New York Jew, looking at this big picture, seeing Colorado just about to break open, you know.
When you say help us, when you say put up a grow, that means start a pot farm?
Yeah, he was looking at it like, you know, what would it take for me to come back here to help him grow cannabis here in Colorado? And classically, I said, you know, at first I was like, you know, I've given him some crazy numbers, of course. But when I got back to Holland, I used to drive this little vehicle around. Like I figured out all the angles, right? So I wasn't driving a normal car. I was just driving one of those little tiny cars, and you can kind of go on the bike paths. And I gotten away with murder for years with these things, like forever. And I get back from America. My very first day back, I get into my little car. I drive over to my office, and on my way, I get pulled over by a bunch of young cops. You know, and they're on scooters, and they don't know the rules, and I'm telling them the rules. It was one of those things. It didn't go very well. They ended up, my friend's smoking a joint while we're sitting there, and they're like, well, if he's smoking while you're driving, we need to take blood to figure out if you're high.
So you sensed the wind change.
Yeah, and I just said, like, what? You want to take my blood? I was like,
in Amsterdam?
Hell no. So then I sat there for 24 hours in the cell, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, like, I was just in America, and it was better there. And the thing is, I had been living. The thing about Holland, as you know too, over there, you know, you're riding your bike and you got your little apartment and you got your tiny little fridge. And then I would come back to the States and I'd see my friends and they'd have like a couple boats and a fucking ATVs and a house full of crap.
Right, living like kings. And these guys were guys that were
and I was like, and I'd be like, God, I'm not making no money. Because in Holland, you don't make no money growing pot. And then I moved back to America, and now you don't make no money growing pot here too. It's like the same fucking thing. It's following me around the world. But I did also see the writing on the wall that it was opening up here, closing down there. And I had a lot of experience in the industry, so I thought this is my perfect opportunity to come back and sort of, you know, live my life over again, but maybe do it better, hopefully.
Now, so are you a? I'll ask Danko. Is he like one of the quote unquote growers, like one of these guys that High Times knows? So where I can't.
Yeah.
Are we still talking about High Times? Are they in your rearview mirror?
Yeah. No,
they're back
for
up.
sure.
They're coming up again.
Adam's a breeder. Adam's company, TH Seeds, created a ton of strains that you know and love, and he's in the Seed Bank Hall of Fame. He's won multiple cannabis cups. He actually ran.
Wait. One fucking minute.
I was gonna do it. He stops me though, Jackie.
There's a Seed Bank Hall of Fame.
Well, I mean,
that sounds like a fucking Onion article.
It's like your joke book.
Danny put me in there. You made it up,
I mean,
right?
basically, I made it up, but you were in the inaugural class of it. I mean, he was creating
first generation
cannabis genetics back in the 90s.
Well, you could even go back before that, Danko. So when he got a job with Sensi Seeds, just being able to go, what you have in the catalog, this kind of sucks, and call the catalog really set Sensi apart from all the other just fly-by-night seed companies in Amsterdam. So simply knowing that you could go to Sensi Seeds for those years and you didn't have to worry about getting home after you smuggled them in your prison wallet back to the U.S. and grow them and find that it was dog shit. You know, it was a quality bank.
Yeah, and Jackie, like, they've been subversive since before it was cool. Like, they had KGB and CIA, which was Killer Green Buds, and cannabis in Amsterdam.
It was actually No Good Bud. It was No Good
I
Bud.
love that.
Oh, No Good Bud? Oh, I thought it was
No Good.
Right, No Good Bud.
Yeah, No Good Bud in Amsterdam.
And they've been like, punk rock, like seed breeding, and really pioneers back when it really could get you in a lot of trouble too.
I love that. For years I could have gotten a lot of trouble. And I lived here in Bayville, right next to Center Island, which is Rupert Murdoch and Billy Joel and all these people live there. So there's constantly helicopters going overhead, and I'd shit my pants at they're the cops looking for my pot, which of course was absurd, but I just grew up for so long, and I had a couple things happen. Like sometimes you make a mistake, like for no reason at all. On my upper deck, I grew some pot plants. There was a pot up there, and I put in some dirt and planted some seeds and never thought about it again. And all of a sudden one day I go up and I look out on my deck. I walked out there, and the stupid plants that were in that pot were like 2 huge male plants, just completely loaded with fucking seeds. They knocked up my whole garden that was like a couple 100 feet away. So you learn that quick. Then another time, I'm growing my pot, and I'm very good about getting the males out of there. And all of a sudden one day I look, and there's like a foot and a half tall, tiny plant that it must have sprouted on its own, and it was all full of male balls. And I got so pissed off, and instead of getting a garbage bag and covering it up, I yanked it out. And I'm sure as I'm shaking it, I'm knocking up the whole garden. So my newest question, and I just asked Danko about this already. This has never happened to me before. I got a really nice garden. A lot of it's Gorilla Glue, but I've been growing for so long, and the seeds get mixed up, so I really don't know what's what. I don't know if they have a thing yet where you can aim your iPhone at it and it can tell you what it is.
Not quite.
Hey, don't give that away. We're working on that app. We were going to release it next week, but now.
So all of a sudden I looked the other day, and here's my beautiful plants, and they're blooming, and and I look, and there's one fucking branch sticking out of one of the plants, and it's completely male balls. And I was like, how in fuck? And I tried to be gentle. I should have covered up, but I yanked it off, and I threw it, and I'm so pissed I didn't take a picture of it. And that can spontaneously happen? Is that common?
Not common, but can happen. I had a chem plant do that to me too, where literally one branch was just a male, and it was like, that's fucking weird, because normally it's intermixed, you know what I mean? There'll be like a male flower and it's tucked up in between a little cluster of female flowers.
That's what I would think, but I looked really closely. It's just all completely female, and that one branch. So that could have been a strain that came from.
It could have been a light leak, though, too. I told you, Jackie.
This is indoors or outdoors?
It's outdoors.
It's outdoors, and I don't think everything.
But our outdoor is harvesting right now, so it probably, hopefully, if it's late in the game and this late, it probably didn't do any pollination.
I don't think. I'm hoping it didn't, and it's, and there's so much of it, so like every once in a while when you're cleaning the pot, even though it's all female, once in a while you get a stray seed, and I don't know why they're there, but it's. I just think it's so fascinating. I don't know about you guys, but you guys are so far along with this whole bullshit thing. It's all happy.
We are definitely deep in bullshit. That's for sure.
Jackie, life happens.
There's nothing more fun for me that when I show somebody my garden and explaining to them how there's male plants and female plants, and how the males knock up the females, and that's why you got to get rid of the males. Like, it's just so natural, and it's just such, it's life. Male, females, procreation. But people are flabbergasted when you start telling that. I'm sure you've had that situation, if not now, but 20 years ago. It sounds like
I've had many times where a discussion starts like that, where somebody seriously is asking me, so how do you make seeds? And then I go like, oh, this is awesome. Okay, I get to sit down, let me explain to you something, let me explain, and then I get them all seriously thinking, and they're like, you birds and the bees, my friend. And then they're like, oh, wait a minute, really? Oh, it's just like that, right? And you're like,
How do you make babies?
Yeah, how complicated do they want to make it? because people have these ideas that it's extremely complicated, and it's not. Because also we have feminized seeds now too, which are made without true males, right? You're forcing females to become males, so plants are more malleable than humans. Technically, we can switch sex, like really for real.
Like, you know,
and
I
be productive for real, so not bullshit.
I sent for 20 feminized seeds, and I planted them, and inside, and only 10 of them came up. And I wrote back and said, "This is bullshit. These are guaranteed. You sent me 20, and only 10 worked." And they didn't even respond. They just sent me 20 more.
Oh, please tell us the name of that seed company right now so we can flame them. Because Jackie, if you want to avoid that...
I could tell you because it was like 5 letters.
Well, that's why you want to buy your seeds from seedsherenow.com.
Oh, you sparked another ad.
Seedsherenow.com, the world leader in seed bank. 70 breeders right now. Managing 70 breeders.
I will send you my order as soon as you send me all those little vials that are in front of you so I can sample all your Denver bullshit.
We will send you whatever you want, Jackie, and it's not a problem. In fact,
Katie, are you smoking a joint?
I'm smoking a joint. I'm having such a time,
She's
Jackie.
gotta work her way up.
This is
told
so
me
wonderful. Yeah, I mean, that's what we're doing. We're getting high together tonight.
Of course, you're encouraged. You're encouraged to sit there and smoke a joint.
I'm pretty sure I sent you a link of a previous show, especially the one we did with Cheech and Chong, so that you would get an idea of what we did. That it's
Jackie's not gonna watch our show. That's crazy. I'm so honored you're sitting here getting high with us right now.
I watched it 3 times.
Did you? God damn, you're adorable.
And your hair?
I know you did it. It was so perfect. The way
I was gonna say you wouldn't be here if you would watch 3 shows.
No bullshit.
No.
I love it so much.
That's big props.
So fun.
I'm ecstatic to be here with you all tonight, though.
Thank you, Danko, for arranging this, by the way.
You guys need to play.
I used to take part to the Cannes Film Festival, and I made me I was already popular with the people over there. One of my very good friends is Tom Bernard, who's the co-president of Sony Pictures Classics, and they're the branch of Sony that has all the artsy films. And like this year, I think they won the Oscar for Best Foreign Film. And the way I met him, I was in a movie called Potluck, believe it or not. And his brother was the producer, one of the producers. And I met Tom, and Tom was the biggest Stern fan in the world. And here he is, like 20 years ago, he was in the room with Redford when they decided to do Sundance. That's how far he goes back. And he's a huge pothead. So I would grew all this pot, and I was off the Stern show. So I was free to do whatever I want. And I would take my pot and I would vacuum seal it, and then I'd put it in another plastic thing and vacuum seal. I'd vacuum seal it and then spray it with deodorant or whatever, and then I'd vacuum seal it a second time, and I would tape it to the inside of my underwear. And I brought so much fucking pot to Cannes, and people are like, "How can you do that? They got dogs. They got dogs." The dogs would come up and said, "The dogs don't give a fuck about pot. The dogs are sniffing for gunpowder and for explosives. I'm petting the dog, and I got more pot than Carter's got pills, And so I'm meeting all these people. My favorite story, I'm walking along with Michael Barker, who's Tom's partner, and Tom and I were walking on the side street of Cannes, and we come walking past this very nice-looking couple, and they're very dressed up. The guy's in a tuxedo. I have no idea who the guy is. And I had seen his picture somewhere, and it turned out where I saw it was so funny. And all I thought when I saw them was, this girl is way too, I'm very shallow. And I said, this girl is way too good looking to be with this fucking guy. And so Michael and Tom know them. Hey, how you doing? Hey, Tom, Michael, how you doing? And Tom said, this is Jackie the Joke Man. And the guy was instantly, he was obviously a big fan. And we start yakking. And it was like talking to a fan. He had all these questions. And it was very much fun. And then all of a sudden, Tom turns to me and says, Jackie, share the farm. So I reached into my pocket and handed the guy a joint. And the girl's eyes lit up because nobody had pot. Everybody was frightened to death to have pot in France. And I handed him a joint, and the girl, her face lit up, and she gave me a huge hug. And I said, if I give you another joint, maybe I'll get a blowjob. And they laughed laughed our asses off, and then we say goodbye and we'll walk along. We get a few feet away from him, and Tom says to Michael, he says, Martling has absolutely no idea who we're just talking to. And Barker said, you're full of shit. Jackie, you know who that was? I said, I have absolutely no idea who that was. It was Tim Burton and Helena Bonham Carter.
No,
and they were
way.
so dressed up because they were judge of the Cannes Festival that year. And the reason I kind of had seen the guy's face before, because he was in the book, because Tim was the head judge for the festival. So I had seen his picture in one of the advertisements for the festival. It was so fucking funny. And the next year I was in Cannes again, and we're on Paul Allen's yacht in the middle of nowhere. Paul Allen brought his yacht to Cannes just so he could play his guitar with a band. He'd invite all his friends out onto the yacht so he could play guitar. I mean, that's being rich, right? And we're there. I'm dancing next to Jane Fonda. I'm like in fucking heaven. And Tim Burton walks up to talk to Paul Allen. And I just ran up on the stage and handed Tim Burton a joint. I said, listen, it isn't important. I just wanted to be able to say I did this 2 years in a row. And I ran off the stage. And I thought it was the coolest fucking thing,
It was.
Pot is such a leveler, just such a leveler,
Yeah,
well, it's like I was saying
people.
before you got on, is that you were one of the first people that I'm listening to every day on the radio, and you were talking about pot and cannabis. It was, and you weren't afraid. It was like anytime we spoke about it in the 80s, it was, you had somebody listening, are we going to get in trouble? What's going on? Can they smell it?
I just never gave a fuck. And, even in 86, 87, 88, there were already like 5 million people listening before we even syndicated. And I was also a member of the Friars Club, which they all made fun of me because if there's two things that are opposite ends, 180 degrees, it's potheads and the Friars Club. But I was a comic, and I was so thrilled to be a friar. And, of course, I loved pot. And so many people identified with that. And, I'd go to do an appearance, and people on the street would hand me pot. Like, wow. Like I was representing them, but I wasn't out to represent anybody. Somebody come to my house and say, "Hi, Jackie, Howard, we were at Jackie's house the other day. We were all getting stoned." He goes, "No, you can't do that." I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" What, because those guys, Howard and Fred and Robin, they were all raised in a bubble somewhere. They weren't out. They would talk about the Partridge Family or the Brady Bunch, and they'd be talking about specific episodes, and they'd make fun of me because I wasn't aware of that episode.
Okay, thank you, Sam.
And I'm like, you fucking idiots! When
like
you were
Dave,
watching when you were watching the Brady Bunch, I was already out getting drunk and getting laid and smoking pot. Of course, we were from two different worlds. I was only 5 years older, but that was a big 5 years.
Good night, John Boy.
What did I do? Did I fuck up?
No,
You're
so
describing me and Adam and our relationship here, and with Katie and why it works so well.
That's
because
exactly it.
we talk about episodes of things that we saw in the 70s, and
I was
Katie
born in
sits there,
'85.
Ow!
Yeah, I love this so much.
I'm in big fucking
This
trouble,
is
man.
literally
I'm coming to your
I
house.
have to take a picture of me on screen with you and send it to my mom because she's gonna shit her pants, Jackie.
Oh, that just made
I'm
me
not
feel
even
great.
joking. My
I
mom
would
is
love
gonna
to
lose
see
her
your
fucking mind tonight when I talk to her.
I would love to see your mother shit her pants. That's one of my. That's on my bucket list.
I'm
She
gonna
can fill up
send
my
this to
bucket.
In a bucket. She could shit in a bucket for you, and we could double the bucket list for you.
She's
She's gonna lose her mind. Yeah. This is absolutely just a pleasure. You're
85, 95, 205. So you're 35?
I'll be 40 this year, 10-10.
Yeah, math's not
Oh,
not your major, but that's good.
I'll take 35. I'll take
Yeah,
35.
that was-
I'm so excited to be 40.
You guys are stupid enough to not realize how calculated that was to say 35.
Yeah, we got it. She
Fucking
didn't.
guys.
They're young, Jackie. They don't get it. I feel the season in you, my friend, and I appreciate
So
it.
how
I see
old
it, and I
is
Well, us
appreciate it.
young, we're young.
Your
My
mother's probably younger than me.
She's younger than you. She's okay. So she was born in '62. So she's 60.
Ouch.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
No, she.
I was already in a rock and roll band in 1962.
See?
Jesus Christ, that's frightening.
And how did the duo of Danko and Jackie the Joke Man, how did your paths cross?
Well, you must have
That's what I-
heard me on the Stern Show talking about pot, Danny, right?
Yeah, I mean, we always had a relationship with the Stern Show. Miss High Times would always go on the show, and you know, and yeah, and then yeah, you know, you also reached out for some seeds now and then too, to grow, which was awesome to me. The July 4th parties, of course, and then just I don't know, you were just always so open about it and friendly about it. And you know, Stump the Joke Man was also like a big thing.
And I thought that was good for the pot culture or the pot world to have somebody on a show. Who knew how big it was going to get? But just to have somebody talking about pot on the show, that couldn't have hurt the whole pot
No, it was
thing or
amazing.
whatever we called
No,
it.
they
It was
know.
amazing.
It's like
Just like
asking
Dave,
about stuff.
just like Dave said, it's like it's normalizing it. It's like
Right, people climbed out of the shadows.
Yeah,
you know.
this isn't some
You were
dirt
You
the
bag
shifted
or,
culture
you know,
in a lot of ways.
Jackie, you were the
not-
first outside of
you know-
Cheech and Chong. No one that in my sphere of watching, you know, and professional entertainers, famous people, no one would talk about it. It was
I
you and Cheech
think
and
Chris
Chong.
Rock did for a little while. I
This
think
is
Carlin
before
did.
Chris Rock.
We were way before that. I mean, we're talking about you in the 80s during
Yeah.
the middle of the worst of
I
the
didn't
war.
mean Chris Rock. I meant Chris Rush. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
You know,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
which is way back, you know. But it doesn't matter, you know.
I mean, there was Bill Hicks and there was guys on the fringes and stuff, but
yeah,
you
but
were right.
that was later. That was later.
Yeah, but you were there, like, I mean, and just being honest, and that's the most incredible thing. And you've always had that honesty. You're, you know, you're that link between the Friars and the Stoners. You know what I mean? All of the old school comedy and all of that, which you're a student of and know everything about. Every single joke. I mean, Stump the Joke Man to me is one of the most incredible things because you know every joke.
I don't know every joke. I just
It's
know
almost
a real
He just
lot
knows
of
all the
them.
punchlines.
I
I can always
is-
figure them out. I
that-
can usually figure them out, you know.
Yeah, but that's incredible, Jackie. That's like incredible.
Yeah.
But
That's
it's you know what? I should take a compliment, but the truth of it is that's all I know. Like when a doctor operates on you, do you go, how the fuck do you know what everything is? How do you know what everything you're looking at? How do you know where to cut? How do you know what, you know?
Yeah, don't ask
That's
him.
what he does.
Yeah, but
You
don't
know?
ask
Yeah,
that
but
guy
not-
to fix
How's
your
Mickey
car.
Mantle know what pitch to swing at?
I was just
you know?
gonna say everybody has their thing that they contribute. You are,
Right.
yeah,
But
you're pretty special,
I mean,
my
but
friend.
I've been to the Friars Club with you, and like that whole experience, like that's comedy history, and you're a historian of it. You are, a tremendous patron of it. You're like, the comedy. lover,
You're the
like,
cannabis
I don't know,
comedy
you're
ambassador.
An archivist of,
and
of
Vinny,
all of it.
make sure you
Well, I
document
always loved-
the
I
flex
joined
right
the
there
Friars
of
Club. I
Danko
joined
and the
Friars
Friars.
Club
Yeah.
and decide to start, I already had accumulated all this shit for so long. That was my, and I still don't know why, but I just did,
Well, actually, there's a
Great.
question from the chat. They want Danny to talk more about being at the Friars Club with you. The
Gosh, that
incredible
sounds
flex
funny.
of that.
Well,
we're using
what's
that one
crazy is
forever,
They
Danko.
make you, it's so formal. I mean, they make you put on a jacket, and I don't think I had a jacket. They brought me a jacket, and you can see the pictures on the wall of everybody, who was anybody going back to vaudeville, and that's the history. That's the history that Jackie connects with as well. Is like joke crafting. The crafting of a joke is an art form. And Jackie's the master of it, and can tell a joke, but can also tell you what joke you're about to tell.
Well, before you even comment on
Now,
that, Jackie,
Not to bum everybody out, but that is 100% completely gone. Not only is the Friars
Well, there's
done,
AI,
sold,
there's like-
delivered, it is gone, and the building's been sold. It is just a piece of history, which is
Wow.
beyond
Physically
sad.
gone.
But
Yeah.
there's always something funny, right? And it got in a lot of trouble a while back. They had a problem there. Yeah, I mean the mob got in. There's a whole deterioration of the whole thing. But one of the classic jokes of all time, and it's really a Jewish joke, was these two old Jewish guys meet in Miami Beach. And the first guy says, so why are you here? Well, my place, my building, my business, it burnt down. And I was like, what, am I going to take the insurance money and start all over and build a new business? I'm old. What? I just took the money and figured I'd come to Florida and live out my years here. What about you? The other guy says, kind of the same. I had a great business. I do. And then there's a huge flood. And the flood knocked down my business and completely destroyed everything. I got the money from the insurance company. What am I going to do? I'm not going to start over. I figured I'd come to Miami Beach and live out my years. And the first guy says, how did you start a flood? And the reason that's relevant is the Friars was at 57 East 55th Street, dead center in the middle of Manhattan, and it got wrecked by a flood, which is just so fucking funny because the water pipes on the top of the building burst, and it happened on Martin Luther King Day, so the place was empty.
I was going to say, how did nobody catch it? Okay.
Destroyed the place, and then the water destroyed the place. So somebody started a fucking flood. I just can't stay. I hate the fact that happened, but it's just way too funny.
Interesting.
But I know those Friars were so much fun.
Everybody loves irony, but nobody wants to pay for it.
Right.
No, there you go. Now I don't know how you guys aren't. So you guys wouldn't remember Soupy Sales or
yes.
like that?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Dave would, because Dave's old, but Adam...
I'm older than Dave.
I do.
That can't be
Vinny,
true.
That can't be true.
Go, Danko! Go, boy! Get it in now!
Yeah, Dave,
Get it in! I haven't even started on you. Please, get it in!
You guys are great.
We're at the point where you're old, right, Danny? You
I'm
can't
old,
be a kid.
No, I'm 53.
When you said you had to put the jacket on, I didn't even say, well, you mean they found one that fit? I didn't say any of that.
No, they did.
I ignored
they found
it.
me a jacket. But it was a whole fun experience. And yeah, Jackie, you had an office that was near the High Times office when we were on 57th Street. Or you were able to bring me there. And yeah, that was so much fun. That was
57 East 55th. It was really beautiful.
I'm a huge fan of comedy as well. Like all going back, I try to be a historian of all of it. Carlin and Kinnison and Bill Hicks and all of that. And you are within that tradition, obviously. And the historian of it. Like you really know more than anyone else I've ever met about.
Well, you know what? There are actually people that know way, way more. But it's one of those things where if you know more than anybody that's standing close to you, you're the guy. There was a movie that, believe it or not, for some reason, I just started getting checks in the mail for this movie. So they must have it posted someplace decent. But there was a movie we made in 1990 called Comedy's Dirtiest Dozen. And Tim Allen, Chris Rock, Bill Hicks, Otto and George, and me and what is a total of a dozen, but they're all people that most of them wound up with a sitcom or they came and went. I mean, it's been 35 years. So, but it's a great, great movie.
Yeah. Filmed in Texas, right? Texas.
No, the Cherry Lane Theater, right in the heart of the village. And it was, it's too long story, but it's a great one. I dare you to.
No, we have a crack engineer's going to pull it up right now. And to add on to Danko's ass kissing, I just wanted to say I heard you give an interview. I don't know, it was a long time ago, and this goes to the origin of. I really do agree with what he said. Your ability to understand the scientific method of joke writing is beyond what normal muggles can understand. And as a fan of the Howard Stern Show since the mid-'80s, listening on NBC, it's one of those things where fans don't understand unless they really know or new radio back then, how much you contributed to what Howard vocalized and
Now,
the
you know,
jokes he said.
That I will rubber stamp and agree with you. Now, as far as writing jokes, creating jokes, it's so funny. If you're a comedian, there's two hard and fast rules. There's two things you do not do. And one of them is tell old jokes, and the other one is laugh at yourself. And that is all I do, is tell old jokes and laugh at myself. But I had been doing it for so many decades that I know all the jokes. I know what you could take a piece of shit here and a banana here and slap them together and come up. So that was my value. I never told jokes on the Stern Show. I would just, wherever we were going, he'd start talking, and I'd think of something funny for him to say. It's like if I'm sitting here talking to you guys, and I think of something funny to say, instead of saying it, I write it down and put it in front of Katie, and she says it. All of a sudden, wow, Katie's so funny. So that's
I was going to say, you can read the room. Your emotional intelligence is it's incredible to
my
witness.
whole act is nothing, never been anything except the most classic jokes that have been around forever, and I just love them. And I put out 6 CDs. There's not one repeated joke. They were all the greatest, foulest, dirtiest, funniest shit in the world. And I maintain there's nothing funnier than that in the world. You get a bunch of people around, they get in a group. They're not asking about, how's your backyard or how's your mother-in-law. They're telling dick jokes. I don't care who you are.
We were telling dick jokes before we started, my friend.
And that's why he said we shouldn't talk.
And we were telling dick jokes.
Then here we
I was
are
like,
on the Stern Show, and I'm on the fly as we're going along. Whatever he's talking about, I'm punching up by handing him something funny to say. And it was so seamless. To this day, I'll talk to somebody and tell them that's what I did on the show.
That's cool.
And they'd be like, bullshit, Howard's brilliant. He didn't need any help. And I always giggle.
This matches, actually. Now this matches so much.
So I want to go back
Hey, Danny, let me ask, Danny, do you remember a guy named Mark Grubert that was the editor of National Lampoon?
I don't.
Yeah, I just recently got back in touch with this guy, but this guy was the editor of National Lampoon in the 80s, and it was still hot shit, National Lampoon.
That was good.
Yeah.
And he called me up and said, I'm writing for MTV Magazine. I'd like to interview you. And I said, okay. And I took him to the Friars Club, and he was in heaven, because he's just he's a hippie, but he's, I don't know what they paid him at the Lampoon, but they probably paid him, dog shit. And we're sitting there, and he goes, that Stern Show is so fucking wild. It's great. I just really enjoy it. And he says, and what are you doing? I said, well, I sit there and I write stuff for Howard to say as we go along. He says, come on, you're full of shit. And I said, what do you mean? And I would always leave the show with my canvas bag with my stack of notes from that day and bring them home. I still have every note I ever wrote for him in my mother's attic. It's pretty scary. And I took out the stack of notes from that day, and Grubert starts leafing through the notes. They're on 8.5 by 11, regular printing paper. And he's looking at me, and his jaw dropped. He said, this is every fucking funny thing he said this morning. I said, no, it's not everything, but it's a lot of it. And he was mesmerized. And here's a guy who works for the National Lampoon, and he had no idea it was going on. So it was a long time before that kind of eked out. I don't know how I got on that. I apologize.
Yeah, no, it's true.
Are you kidding me?
I was going to say, do you have children that are going to put this together, or grandchildren that are going to get this together? Because this is
no.
cool.
That's why I'm sending you a plane ticket, Kate.
Send me. I will come and organize this for you. That's actually one of my favorite things to do.
She does like.
I think he knows it.
That's her. Wow. Quick.
To this day, there's still people feeding him jokes constantly, and he's good at putting those jokes out there. But you need that person who's off the cuff, writing
You're
those
him.
things.
It's $1 billion show. It better. He better have writers
No,
right now for him.
I would say, he's become a much better interviewer, to his credit.
Howard Stern is the greatest interviewer ever.
It takes having a cool community of people.
And a better person, I think, too. Just a better human.
Jackie. We lose Jackie?
He's back.
All right. We heard, shit, and you went dark.
I touch something on the screen.
Don't
I
touch.
know better than to do that.
Don't
You know,
touch.
I don't know where I lost you, but yes, Howard is a great interviewer, and
Yeah.
he's
it
always
takes a
been good at
community,
that,
so
you
it's
know.
cool to be able to. Yeah, you're not really
So-
talking to the
so
person.
But he
who has to
he
do
does.
that.
I guess he. You know, I don't pay any attention, but I guess the interviews are much more serious because when we used to have a guest coming in, me and Fred would write, you know, the most obnoxious questions in the world, and then we didn't wind up using a lot of them because we wound up writing questions on the fly about what we're talking about.
Right.
And here's some trivia because I'm sure none of you assholes read my book, which I would have sent you if you had
Send
asked.
me, I'll
Yeah,
read it.
We'll send you addresses when we're off. When after the
He
show.
whenever we had a guest come into the studio, Howard would put on his sunglasses, but it made perfect sense because he, you know, weird personality and he wasn't the world's best looking guy, so he put on the sunglasses to kind of be cool. But in reality, I had a little bin and I was writing notes and putting them in a bin, and there's a little lipstick camera on the bin. And Fred would write a note sometimes and put that there. And Howard, in front of him, he had a computer screen on the left and then a computer screen on the right in case the guest was standing over there. But for the most part, they're sitting on the couch, and he's talking to the guest. And as he's talking to the guest, I'm writing shit for him to say a mile a minute and put in front of him. And his eyes are darting to the left to read it off the computer screen.
Right.
But the guest had no idea because he's wearing dark glasses. So they had no idea that he was looking over here and looking back. And people are like, and then when you go back and look at it, you realize, you know, you never question the fact. It's like when somebody tells you that Carson's eyes would pan from left to right during his monologue. And until somebody tells you that, you have no idea. But now that you know that, if you watch Carson's monologue, he's looking down here, then he's looking down here, then he's looking down here, because all the monologue jokes were pasted in huge on big cardboard in front of the front row of the audience, you know. But nobody cared.
Is there a doctor
cared?
in the
Right.
house?
They're being entertained.
And they get better and better at it too. So then
That's all they
That's the
care
look-
about.
That's
all
the
they
look
care about.
behind the curtain.
They're being entertained. In full disclosure, I'm not a fan of Howard Stern, just like his energy. Now that I meet you, you might be one of the funniest people I've ever had the opportunity to sit
I haven't
and
said
chat
a
with.
fucking thing
That's
yet.
the funniest part about this is nice to meet you, because that's all this
Gee,
is. a
thanks,
very
Katie.
introduction.
You
Sit
are
next to Adam and I
hysterical.
for
Yeah, we're
years.
not-
You,
funny.
oh, I love these two. These
Katie,
two are
you have
wonderful.
you have the nicest breasts I have ever seen.
I really appreciate that.
That's what we were
We
talking
have to go. Good night, everybody.
I can't even see the screen from here. I don't.
So you were talking about Soupy Sales earlier, but we kind of cut you off. What was that tangent about?
He was an old friend, and he'd been around forever. And it's funny, when I started in college, my roommate in college knew about Soupy Sales years before I did, because he was from Livonia in Detroit, and Soupy Sales started in Detroit. And he was a big local TV celebrity. And then when we had the Channel 9, before the Channel 9 show, we did a whole show for NEW, for Channel 5, that was so bad it never aired. We did 5
Well, that's
shows.
like us again. You're trying to steal our style.
And once again, those are, I'm sure they're on the Google. If you want to
On
look
the
at Channel,
Google, yeah.
Howard
We're
Stern
on it right
Channel
now.
5 show. And it was funny because there was all crates there with Soupy Sales show, you know, stamped on the side of the box. It was just, you know, history. And then Howard was a huge Soupy. And then Soupy followed us on the air at NBC. I always say we. It was Howard's show, the Howard show. And then Soupy was on after us, and he was our close friend. And then all of a sudden he became our enemy because I guess he would eat his salad and the microphone would smell like salad dressing. So, of course, Howard would make a huge deal out of it. me and Soupy always, and then when I became a friar, Soupy and I were, you know, good buddies, and I'd see him here and
Soupy
there.
salad. That's a good combo.
And then
Soupy
they did
salad.
some kind of a party for him, some kind of a dinner, and he stood up on the little riser that was at the end of the room, and he's talking to the crowd, and he leaned back and he leaned against the curtain, but the curtain wasn't along the wall. There was a foot or two between the curtain and the wall. And he just went flying off the stage. He's lucky he didn't get killed. And he got really hurt. And then he had a couple strokes. And I mean, he was in really, really bad shape. And we all loved him. And he'd come into the Friars. It was great. And one day, and this is how fucking funny he was a nut, just a nut. But I was walking into the Friars dining room, and it had a very thin door, just a single door leading into the dining room. And I went to go walk in, and here comes Soupy. He's walking out of the dining room, and he's got a walker. And Frail doesn't even begin to describe him. I mean, he's inching and inching. I say, "Hey, Soup." And he says, "Jack, you know, I went to the bank today, and I asked the guy to check my balance, and he pushed me." I said, "You old motherfucker, you're still so funny." I think he died like a couple weeks later. You had to be that frail to have that ad lib. Just unfucking real. I'm sorry, I know there's a tangent, but that's one of my favorite stories.
No, they talk about Soupy all the time, so that's funny.
And had you watched the show, you'd see that our show is made up of tangents.
Oh, yeah, we are. We're nothing but
and
a
Soupy is a part of it,
tangents
so that was
together.
spectacular.
Uh-oh, squirrel.
Speaking of a
I'm trying to
tangent,
move
you
out of
guys-
the way so that I'm not right under his chin there.
Are we
Speaking of a
losing
tangent, you
already?
guys, I'm gonna have to
What? Danko?
Dang.
say adieu. Bid you
We
guys
didn't even-
adieu.
What are you, a father
No,
or
no, no,
something?
no, no, no,
What are you,
we didn't
dad?
make
Got
fun of you.
responsibilities.
He's
And-
pulling one of the Steve Martin things. He's got nothing to fucking do. He's
No.
just
Didn't
saying
bust-
that.
All right. I'll stick around.
Yeah,
Yes,
nice.
Jackie.
Guilt. Jewish guilt there.
geez.
You
Danko.
can't fool me.
I got
Danko, how many kids you got? Still one?
one
or how
kid.
many?
One. Yeah, still one. Yeah. 15 years old.
Whoa.
Yeah.
15's a great
Yep.
age.
Wow. I think you
Yeah.
came to the 4th of
Sunday-
July party. It was an
Sunday's
infant,
my
right?
Sunday's my 23-year anniversary. My wife and I. 23 years.
Congratulations.
Wow.
September.
You know what
28th.
they say? If you had killed her on the honeymoon, you'd be out now.
Damn. I like that one.
Oh man.
You want to hear my new marriage joke?
Yes.
Yes.
The wife comes out of the shower and she says, "Honey, I just shaved my cooch." You know what that means? He says, "Yeah, now the fucking drain's going to be clogged."
Oh.
I love that. That's so
That's a
funny.
great one.
God
Can-
damn.
Modernize.
Why is that so fucking practical
Would never
and
work.
real?
Would have never worked in the 70s.
No.
Never would have worked. no one
Oh,
was
yeah,
shaving
no.
it.
Nobody was doing that.
They were like, huh? Shave
What?
cooch? What?
No.
You did that?
You know, I
That is
had
a
to
new
get rid
thing.
of.
That's you guys were around before that was, yeah.
I had to get rid of all the jokes in my act that
Okay.
had anything to do with pussy hair or
Yeah.
bush
Yeah.
or anything like that.
So outdated.
But now it's back.
I was
Now
gonna say it's
people-
all back in. That's great. I
People
was like, that
letting
feels
they're
wild.
letting it
Whoa,
grow.
whoa,
They're
whoa,
letting
whoa,
it
whoa.
Letting
fly.
it grow.
Pulling out your
Why?
file.
It's natural. This is
Yes.
crazy.
Yeah, but they're not
Pussy,
trimming.
yes, it's back.
They're not trimming it. They got.
Yeah, no,
fucking,
it's hanging
you know,
out. You're just letting.
Oh.
No, they were. Yeah, it's going.
So what you're saying is now the standard gift for Christmas is a grooming kit for the missus?
Okay.
That's what you would hand them out? You would
No,
give that out?
yeah. Good luck. Good luck
Good
handing
luck
that
giving me
to
that
your
as
girl.
a gift.
Hey,
No,
here,
you,
honey.
We VCR.
Here's a kit to clean up your pussy. Yeah, that's a good move.
Yeah, I was
No,
like,
no,
please
wouldn't you
don't
offer
do
to
that.
help?
How do you say that nicely,
Kick
though?
click.
Is that something?
No.
The click kit is crazy.
Yeah.
He's not just a walk away.
I really love you, but go squat on the lawnmower.
Yeah,
you know,
really.
It really makes sense. You know.
Come on, we've
Jesus
all had
Christ.
to have that
I mean-
conversation with somebody in our lives at one point in time and go, we need to do a little manicure. I'll
Wait a
help
minute,
her.
wait
I
a
don't
minute.
think I've ever had
know,
that
he's-
conversation.
I am no kid.
I'm
I have
young
never
enough
had
that
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 conversation.
I've
manicure
never
is
had
a
that
thing.
conversation either. I don't know what Dave's talking about.
And who's we?
Yeah, exactly. Who's the we in this conversation?
Dave is just trying to make himself out to be a pussy hound, which I can tell from here he's not. So that's what.
God
That's
damn.
Attaboy, Jackie.
Yeah.
Have you ever had to have that kind of conversation? I've never had
no,
that.
I would just pull them out one
Amazing.
hair at a time. You know.
Because I'm
Just
yanking
yank
on
'em.
it. Just
That was a hot mess
How about you,
Jackie
Danny?
busting-
Would you say
Jackie
something
busting
part
Dave's
of
balls.
And aren't you glad you stayed,
If you
Danko?
wanted to,
No,
This
it's
conversation
amazing.
is
Jackie
completely
busting
devolved.
Dave's balls is the best thing I've ever heard. This is.
See, this is
I
what
don't
you would
care
have
what's
missed.
going on down there. What about you, Katie? What do you got going on?
No, well, I mean, I'm young, and so I tried all the things.
She was just talking about
yeah,
how she likes
I
older
try all
men.
the things.
Older men.
Older men.
I am interested in older men these days because men my age, my daughter's 21, and men my age that I'm single right now, so I'm going on a lot of dates, and they want to have kids, and I'm not interested in that. I'm done doing that. I'm interested in playing and traveling and
Driving
doing
around
different
in a
things.
convertible, red convertible.
I want to get high and have my tits out in the woods on LSD all day. That's how I'd like to be spending my days. And I
Well, you're
want
gonna have
everybody.
You're going to have
get
a tough time finding anybody, so that's why I'm going to volunteer.
hard out here. It's hard out here.
God, I haven't taken acid in the woods since 1970.
I am Kurt just coming from that, my friend. You come out here. And that's so funny. I couldn't wait to see Adam today because he gave me some stuff and it was I thought I took allegedly.
Allegedly.
And I thought it was a microdose and I was in the woods today and I was like, shit, I might not make it to the show. I might not make it to the show. And so I
never give
came
you
to
a
the show and I'm
microdose. What are you talking about?
no, you gave me that whole sheet and I took what I thought was a microdose. And I barely made it here today. It's spectacular. Pretty much. I'm so proud of myself for putting
Dave Jarnick for the defense, Your Honor. My
together.
client didn't know what she was saying.
I know.
Okay, she was she was way.
Oh, don't
I
drop
love this
yourself.
life. I'm
Nobody's
very
listening.
grateful for this life, though.
Exactly, Jackie.
nobody
Nobody's
gives a fuck.
listening.
However,
Nobody,
back to what
nobody
he was saying.
gives a fuck.
Katie's
Nobody
tripping balls.
does. Nobody does.
I'm not talking about your story, Katie. I'm saying nobody's listening to this
Yeah,
and saying,
nobody's
"Oh wow,
judging
let's
me."
fuss somebody."
Yeah.
Nobody
No.
gives a
Dave
shit.
is.
Dave,
And if you,
Katie's trip-
yeah, no.
Katie's tripping balls.
Love it.
Always.
I don't
Always,
even
that's
eat
my
pot
baseline.
brownies. I got too high on pot brownies in like 1970, and
Sounds like
I'm
70 was a
scared
big
of that
You know what?
shit. It's
Sometimes
70 was a
I-
really big year for you.
You don't
for
do the
drugs.
seltzers or any of the little edibles, the
That-
gummies or anything?
I got a guy that sends me so much pot and sends me all these gummies, and I got a pile of this shit, and I,
I
don't
like to
take it. I
smoke.
give it to friends. But I love the pot seltzer, the cycling frog is what
Yeah,
I
the
get.
seltzer. The seltzers
And there's
are
the
great.
2s and the 5s and the 10s and the 20s and the 50s.
Local
Zero
And when
calorie.
I open a 50, I use it like it's Jack Daniels. I'll have a glass of seltzer on ice and then pour some of the 50 milligram stuff in like you'd pour in a couple shots of Jack Daniels and watch TV, and it's just so pleasant.
That's
You
a
don't even
completely
think you're
different
high
life.
till you get up to take a leak and you fall down. I guess this is working,
You just sound like Tommy
Exactly
Chong.
that.
When Tommy's on the show with us, he's got this long, Sherlock pipe going. Cheech is on the side. Everyone's getting high. And I'm like, so, guys, what are you smoking? And he didn't miss a beat. He goes, oh, fan dope, man. Fan dope. So that you've got your fan dope guy
Yeah.
who just sends it. You don't know what it
a
is.
Friend, I ran into the guy in Boston. I work in Boston once a year, just the best gig of the year. I work with a guy named Lenny Clark, who's probably way too old for you guys.
I know.
No,
But he's
I
just
know who
a-
Lenny Clark is. Holy shit.
And so just wonderful. And this guy came to the show with his mother, and they were both wearing I Stumped Jackie the Joke Man t-shirts. The guy's mother must be 80, 80, he's my age. But here they are, and he said, I want, I'm a big fan, so I gave him my card for whatever reason. He said, oh, there's a present on its way to you. And he sent me like 8 bags, all different pot. And I think they're like,
Good man.
what's a common thing? Is like 7/10 of an ounce? Is that a common amount or some 0.7? I don't even know. But he sent me all this shit, and I love it. And whenever I write to him, say how much I like it, he sends me more. Yeah. And I got to give it away. I can't smoke that much weed. I just can't do it. I have a couple tokes, I'm fine. I'm gone. I got a steak waiting for me. I'm going to go in there and have a big couple of hits of pot and say, I'm hanging out with the potheads now. Look at me. Look
You
how
could just
cool
send
I
it to
am.
Katie. So
I'm a couple hits these days too. I have to pace myself on the show because Adam, do you like hash, Jackie?
yeah.
Yeah, why not?
Adam's hash is literally the best hash I've ever had, and I have to pace myself because you hit this and you melt.
I got a question for you. Now, Adam and Dave, have you guys been in Denver a long time?
Dave's been here longer.
About 26 years.
I'm born and raised.
From New York
so this
City.
is me.
I was
well,
in
I had a
Queens.
gig. I had a gig at the State Theater in Denver. Does that sound right? Maybe it's not there anymore. It was called the State Theater.
Gone. Yeah.
And there was these guys that were making these ridiculously beautiful pipes, but it was artwork. And these guys made a bong that was Howard's head, and it was multicolored and fucking beautiful. And I somehow carried it home without breaking it, and gave it to Howard. And I didn't even take a picture of it. Like, what are you thinking? If I had been thinking, I would have put that in the corner. If I pulled it out now, I could probably get $20,000 for the thing. But
more.
I gave it to him. But these same guys gave me shit that I had never seen before. And I'm sure you guys will know. It looked like it was like a slab, like maybe a little bit more than a half inch. And I know I've asked Danny about this, about a half inch or 3/4 of an inch.
He knows half inch to 3/4 for sure.
Maybe
his-
4
that's
You're
inches
speaking my
wide.
language, my friend.
4 inches wide. Don't interrupt my story with your fucking lousy jokes. 3/4 of an inch by 3 or 4 inches by about 7 or 8 inches. It was a big slab, and it was bright green. And I think he called did he call it Keith?
Okay.
Is that
Yeah.
so? I
Probably,
took it home,
yeah,
and you
pressed
just take a little pinch of the shit. I guess it was like hash, but it was bright green, which I didn't understand. And put a little pinch of it on a joint or on a bowl of pot. It was like, fuck, And I think that lasted me for years because I was afraid of it. Now, what was that?
It sounds like pressed pressed.
It doesn't
keef,
sound
pressed trichomes.
great to me either. If the color.
Hash that's just pressed together trichomes. It's just concentrated.
When you say
Bland
green,
heads.
Why was it green?
It shouldn't
it
be
wasn't the
green
best.
unless
Shouldn't
there's
be
a lot
green.
of plant material in
yeah,
it. But
it's not a good sign.
it's still concentrated hash, so it's gonna be strong.
But it depends, because there was a moment in time where, when you said slabs, we all started thinking of something else.
Something
because
else.
there was a lot of hash being made in slab form, and if it was green and in a slab like that, it would be really just like a lot of chlorophyll within the product. So it means they didn't have a good way to. They didn't
Right. Yeah, I remember the slabs of hash because like you'd buy somebody cut off a hunk. I lived for a whole summer on a big slab of hash that I'd sell $20 worth to somebody, and then I'd drink on that, and then I'd sell, Oh, and I almost went to
Never-ending-
jail.
never-ending
I got so
gobstopper.
many. I got a great jail story about the hash and the whole.
Uh-oh, here we go.
You could go on and on and on and on.
Wait, jail story?
Somebody,
You and
somebody in the
stories are
chat was
good.
asking about Pat Cooper stories. Or, I would also maybe interject and just ask, like, is there anybody who you wouldn't have suspected of being a pothead back in those days that, like, surprised you, aside from Tim Burton?
Look at
No,
Danko
that-
with a good question.
It surprised
He
me.
has
I
a
didn't know
proper
who the fuck he
podcast.
was. I wasn't
Right.
a bit surprised that him and Helena were
Right.
potheads.
No,
God,
but
if Tim Burton's not a pothead, who is?
yeah, for sure.
Oh, he's
Well,
tripping
I'll tell
balls
ya-
with Katie. in
And
the
when,
woods.
when you're in France and you're like in a country like that where there's no access to anything, and it doesn't matter if you're famous or rich or whatever, you if you don't know a guy, you don't know a guy.
I was on. I got so many little pot stories. Like so many people have smoked my weed, famous people, that it's like staggering, and it always sounds like bullshit because there are more and more and more. But we were on Paul Allen's yacht, and I was standing there on the side, just alone, leaning on the banister or whatever, looking out at the Mediterranean and the lights of Cannes, and I'm in fucking heaven. And this guy comes up and says, this is unreal, huh? I said, yeah. And everybody at Cannes is interesting. And throw a stick and you hit somebody interesting. So I said to the guy, what do you do here? And he said, well, I worked on the team that created the new 3D films. And that was the year that they were premiering the U2 3D movie, which was frightening because in the old days you had to watch. If you watch a 3D, if you were on either side, it didn't work.
Right.
And this movie was different camera angles. It's like, holy shit, you're fucking there. And I said, you work on that? That's unbelievable. And he told me, you guys are too young to appreciate the story, but The guy who originally created 3D movies or whatever, was originally a songwriter. This is a true story. You can Google this. And he wrote the song Puff the Magic Dragon.
Really?
And then he went into this whole thing and wound up the creative 3D. Now, when you're doing 3D, everything is off the center line. There's a center line, and then stuff is this far away, and then a hair further. And that's what creates the 3D image. And in homage to that guy, these guys named the center line of the 3D Honolulu, which is from the song From a Land Called Honolulu, which is, I just think it's just so fucking fun. And this guy's got my jaw dropping. I said, the only thing missing is we don't have any pot. And the guy goes, can? Are you kidding? Nobody brings pot to can. And I took out a joint, and the fucking guy's head exploded. So we're smoking a joint at the
Check
time.
out the big brain on bread.
At the time, Entourage was a monster hit right at the time. Mm-hmm. And what was the kid's name? The lead actor.
Yeah, Adrian Grenier.
He comes walking out, and he sees me, and he goes, "Joke, man, you got pot?" And he came over, and he smoked the joint with us. And I could have given a fuck, but my niece and all her friends, they were so in love with this fucking guy, like, can I touch you,
Hey.
So meanwhile, I became very good friends with George Clooney's assistant, Amy Cohen. And when they were making the remake of Ocean's 11, Clooney and Brad Pitt and Marky Mark and Julia Roberts and whoever else was on that shoot in Las Vegas, I was sending them huge manila envelopes full of my homegrown pot, and they were just fucking in heaven.
I love this so
and Amy said, Brad Pitt would say, "Hey, Amy, you got any more of the joke pot? Where's the joke pot?" Which is so fun. One that threw me, Robert Altman smoked my pot like a year or two before he died. The guy who did Nashville and shit like that.
Yeah.
Because he was good friends with these guys. And Ed Harris was all fucking uptight at the Oscars, and he was good friends with my friend Tom. And Tom says, "You know what? You really need a joint." So, because the guy, he had just won for Pollock, I think he won Best Actor, and he was all freaked out because he had to talk to people. And Tom said, at the other side of the governor's ball, whatever they have at the Oscars, he said, from the other side, Ed Harris looked over at him and went, like that, which is it means nothing, but it does if you're a pot grower, because you want people to smoke your pot, And everybody smoked my weed. Everybody,
You and I were at the premiere. Remember the premiere party of The Whackness? That movie, The Whackness, with Tom Bernard and my boss at the time, Michael Kennedy. Well, they asked me to roll a joint for them in the theater, and I'm in a theater in a premiere, like a fancy premiere, rolling a joint in the dark in my lap in the theater, and people are like complaining about the smell.
Already.
People are it's like a whole scene, and then I go and I give them the joint, and they go outside and smoke. And long story short, there was a party at the hotel afterwards, and we got Rob Thomas and I almost got kicked out of the party for smoking on the roof deck of, I think it was the Gansevoort Hotel, and those were always
so fun. Bernard was assholes buddies with Kennedy, and I love.
I used to send Tom Bernard. I used to message, bike messengers when there were still bike messengers. Message ounces of weed across town from the High Times office to the Sony Pictures Classics office that they had in Manhattan. And he'd pay for the weed, the bike messenger, the lunch, everything. It was like nothing.
One of his very good friends, a guy named Jeremy Thomas, whose father was the equivalent of whoever the biggest comedy, like a Rob Reiner of the time. His father was a famous comedy director in England, and Jeremy Thomas was a famous producer, and he got a couple of Oscars, and he was Tom's good friend, and he would come to the city. and he'd always stay at the same hotel. I'll never think of the name of it. Right there on Central Park South. And one time he needed some pot. He was an older guy. He was, my age at the time, probably 60 or 70. And he crossed the street. He was on the other side of the street from the hotel. And I came driving along and opened my window and tossed the pot out the window, and he caught it. And I'm like, I'm on this fucking famous radio show, and here's a guy who's an Oscar-winning producer, and we're pulling a what's it called? Like a caper. It was a fucking caper. Oh, just fucking fun. Just so much funny. Fucking fun.
Tom's son Eddie is a pisser too. I don't know if you know Eddie Bernard, but he's a great kid.
Just saw him you know what he's doing.
He works with Martin Scorsese. Francis Ford Coppola. Yeah,
Francis Ford Coppola put out that movie Megalopolis.
Yeah.
And it bombed so bad, so now he's taking it around to theaters, and he's doing Q&A afterwards. And Eddie's his right-hand guy.
Yeah.
So we went to see it at the Capitol up in Portchester, and the movie's fun. It's weird. It's really fucking weird, but it's great weird. And then Coppola, he took Q&A for like 45 minutes or an hour till they kicked them out. Because all those union people, if they're not out by a certain time, they, ka-ching, ka-ching. So they basically gave Francis Ford Coppola the hook, and I was outraged. And then we went and broke the line to Eddie was with Michael Barker that night, and, we shook hands with Coppola and said, that was just, I told him I could have listened to you for another 5 hours. And, he was certainly glad to hear that. But then I heard he's not doing well, so I hope the guy's doing well, because that's one of the iconic people of all time,
Yeah.
Yeah. And that movie that you mentioned, that Potluck movie, that was a High Times movie, actually. That was like
High Times Potluck was the actual name of it. I forgot.
Yeah. Yep, that's right.
And Tommy John
another
was
amazing movie from High Times. Another masterpiece.
Jackie, I'm sensing a potential TV show for you. Call it Getting High with Jackie, where you call upon all these stars that you got pot when it was clandestine, and now that they can talk about it, you bring them on camera again to relive that moment, to talk about when you were.
But you know what? But everybody will yawn. When I was in college at Michigan State in 1966, and then again 1967, we stayed in the dormitory, Snyder Hall, and we would smuggle beer up into the room. And one time we smuggled a keg and put it in the RA's room. And it was during finals, and we're drinking, and we'd smuggle broads in, and they'd come through the window, and we'd bring them up. And then I went back there a couple of years later, and I'm sitting in the hallway of my dormitory telling my great, great stories. And meanwhile, the kid sitting there is smoking pot. He's got a beer in his hand, and the girl next to him is living with him in his fucking room. So these stories are like, yeah.
Exactly.
So when do you get to the point of the story? And the point was, it was illegal, which made it crazy fun. And now it's, it's happenstance, Hey, back when I got stoned with these guys. Yeah.
You're going to find
and
something.
The point is,
Oh, I know. The new generation don't get it.
There
they don't
you go,
know.
Vinny.
They don't
I mean,
Y'all
ultimately,
are the trendsetters.
Oh, look at that.
Ultimately, that's a good thing,
Hysterical.
less people going to jail and all that, but the stories are hard to...
That girl, I forget her name, but she was so beautiful. And she was in the, I don't know about real life, but in the movie, she was a lesbian. And I owned a bar. My name was Mercury, and I was a bar owner.
Right.
And that girl she worked behind the bar. And one day she didn't show up. So I'm behind the bar, tending bar, and I'm all pissed off. And she walked in with her lesbian girlfriend. And I was all pissed off, and I started railing at her and screaming and yelling. And then I guess I came around the bar, and I must have, tried to hit on him or something. And they poured a fucking pitcher of beer over my head.
Yeah.
It's a fun scene.
Bobby Black is in it, too.
When I did the movie, they gave me
Superstar Bobby
two
Black.
shirts. They gave me two of the same shirts in case we had to do another take.
He nailed it.
So I'd have a clean shirt for the second pitcher of beer. And I kept that shirt. And I'm telling you, I wore that shirt to every gig for about 5 or 10 fucking years. I mean, it was so funny. I came walk. There was a comedy club at 42nd and 8th. Do you remember that, where they used to have the whorehouses? And it was a Jamie.
Danko knows.
Danko, you know what he's talking about.
You know exactly what he's talking
I
about.
was just gonna say, is this where all the New Yorkers?
I didn't go to Manhattan then.
Yeah, but Jamie, what's his face? It was a Laugh Factory, and I had a gig there, and they had a big picture of me tonight, and there's Jackie, and there I am in the shirt, and I come walking up.
Same
And
shirt.
the people are waiting to go in, and I'm wearing the same fucking shirt. I was like, they're like, hey, man, is that the only shirt that you own? You know, which I thought was a matter of pride. Yeah, I still got.
I love it. Yeah, this is it.
You're on brand. You're on brand. Yeah, you gave him exactly.
I'll send it to you. We could put that in a museum. Put that in a pop museum with all Danko's
With all of your quotes.
That girl from the movie, she was in the Lunatics. She was in the rock band Lunatics. And in that scene where you get the beer poured on your head, Bobby Black is in the scene at the bar. And I think he like passes out or something, or he laughs and then passes out. I mean,
it was an incredible acting, I'm sure, by Bobby Black. I'm sure it was
So
one of his
fun.
best pieces.
but it
of
was
work.
fun. It was that was the heyday of High Times in the mid to late '90s when
Frank
it was like,
Gorson was in it. Sylvia Miles, Tommy Chung. Who else? Like a shitload of people. Really fun. Really fun. You know what happened? They had
wacky
the
cameos
outdoor,
movies.
the outdoor pot rally. It was like a bus, and Tommy Chong was going to play and use the Rockacaster or whatever it was called. It was a Stratocaster with a hollow body with water in it, so you could use that as a bong. It was so ridiculous. And I announced on the Stern Show that we were having a pot rally at Battery Park, and they had to shut it down, and we couldn't do it because there was too many people.
So many people
and
showed
they
up.
couldn't control the amount of people, which was so wonderful for the Stern Show. It was a big deal.
They dropped a bunch of joints out of a helicopter. I think, too.
Anytime you drop anything out of a helicopter, it all goes wrong.
Trouble.
You know that.
I don't know if they actually did that, but theoretically they did that. You know, they had a picture of a helicopter.
Look at that for
cameo
so
heaven.
Fun. That's what I was saying.
Yeah,
the
crazy
whole
cameos.
The whole world was in that movie, and just fun as shit. Really fun as shit.
Hysterical.
You know, a bunch of the old mobsters.
I was an intern. I was an intern at the time, so I wasn't popular enough to make it into the movie.
Oh, Danny. Oh. They didn't even have you skating around in the background or something?
No, I just delivered weed to the set.
We need a skateboarder kid now. Stat.
I just delivered weed to the set.
You were there.
That's all right.
Cool
That's actually the most important.
I was like, you were a very crucial part of this.
I'm
behind the scenes.
Whoever brings the cannabis is crucial.
Behind the greens.
The guy who wrote that is Vic. What's it say on the poster? Vic.
I was behind the greens, but it was Vic. It was an Italian guy.
Great, and he had written
Vic
Summer
Legina.
Sam, and that was his claim to fame. He's a great guy, great guy. I'm still in touch with him. Why can't I think? Don't ever get old. Don't ever, I walk in and see my girlfriend. What's your name again? It's fucking bullshit.
I love it. You can fall in love over and over.
Yeah.
Every day. It's a fresh new day. Hey, who the hell are you?
You tell the same jokes all the time. By the way, we would never tell the same jokes ever again. We don't. Once we say something on the show,
one joke.
Dave is
it's
the
over.
worst.
So just by the way, you're probably going to be contacted.
Are you saying that at some point you're going to say something funny? Is that what you're saying?
No.
Oh, don't even expect
At one point in time, though, you will be contacted by Danko's people to do his show in 2 weeks. So
he's
just
been
in
on my
case.
show.
I'd do anything for anybody. I'd do anything for anybody.
It feels like that. You're
Jackie's
great.
been
I
on
was
my
on
show.
an all naked show a couple nights ago.
What? Yes.
4 girls, 1 black girl, 3. I wouldn't call them regular. 1 Asian, and they were completely naked, and they weren't even sitting behind a table. They were sitting there with their legs spread, and they're throwing ping pong balls into each other. And
You were on the show?
Yeah.
Okay,
Live?
tell me about the show. What's the name of the
How's
show?
that smell? How's that
Is this a show?
Yeah,
Are you
really.
in Tijuana? It sounds like
It's
you're
one
in
of those
Tijuana.
famous stories called Jackie Completely Made It Up.
I was like, this
what it-
actually, okay, feel how this
All right.
actually
I was-
matched, like
I was
it
waiting. I
would
wanted
fit your
descriptions.
life.
See,
We're back.
someone else
We're
does
back.
that too.
I wanted to
Just
see how
makes up
far I could
stories.
take 'em, Danny,
We're back in the red light district with Jackie.
Here we are.
I heard ping pongs and my brain went to Tijuana too.
No, because
No.
I thought Katie was going to say them
Thailand.
too.
Thailand is really good at ping pong.
Really?
That's the spot you want to go. If you
Okay.
want to go for proper ping pong. It's
I've
Thailand.
I've not seen that. I have not seen that yet.
No, I've seen it.
You notice I said yet. 'Cause
It's
I have
in
every plan
production.
Of one day seeing it.
Well, the famous
seeing
one
the
in
ping
Amsterdam
pong.
is the banana bar. Is the famous one with the bananas. That's the one where if you get the wrong person walks in there, they're like, what? So what are they doing right now? They'll grab you. Yeah. The thing about Holland is way different than here too. Like they'll take somebody out of the audience, and it gets pretty fucking graphic, and you're like, holy like, is that so you just ate the banana like right out of her snatch? You're like, that is disgusting.
That is
like, I was
some
like, oh, and it's like, and they
Not only would I do that, I would turn it around first. And
I was
then
gonna say I know people that are just nasty.
It's
Yeah,
peer
he
pressure, though.
said-
Adam's right though. There's a level of peer pressure that goes on where people will just do something that they weren't.
that they
That was-
wouldn't normally do.
That was what
They wouldn't have normally
Lizzo did that to her crew. Remember, you heard about that? She went to Amsterdam, took them to that bar, and made her crew do it, and they all felt like humiliated after because it was like she's like, "Eat the banana, bitch,"
Damn.
So I can already see it. I can already see it happening.
Yeah,
when
no.
I was a kid, you're in like 7th grade, and it
Is
was
it
like, come on,
organic?
man, drink this beer. Drink this beer. That was the peer pressure we knew. Drink this beer. You know.
I'm the one peer pressuring. I'm always the one that's like, come on, try this. You.
Now, let me ask you, Katie, what about your daughter? Does she live with you?
She doesn't. She just moved out this year, and so I'm empty nesting, and I'm single
Does
for
she
the first
does
time
she
in a long
smoke pot?
She does. You know what? Now her boyfriend is straight edge, and so she stopped
the
smoking
worst.
cannabis and stopped taking microdoses of mushrooms. She's. It's. She,
Do we
that-
need to
that
have
was
an
the thing.
intervention?
We have to
That was
have
the
an
thing that we
intervention.
did
Oh, no.
before she started dating this young man, and this young man was like, "I can't believe your mom goes and does drugs on camera every week with her friends."
Is he-
I was like, "Oh,
This is our show. I
yeah."
didn't
So
know
I'm
that.
a drug addict.
Yeah.
Everything we do on
She
camera
loves it.
is
She
just
supports
is
every
faux.
part of it.
This isn't
The
real.
stupid podcast, the way I'm wearing a pink shirt, and your podcast, I look like I'm topless.
No joke. When you
Yeah,
said, when you were talking about the naked thing, I was like, okay, he's sticking with his theme. Are you
I like
naked?
that. Now
right?
that you say it, it's totally. I can't.
Now
see
I
nothing.
can't
It's
unsee
a
it.
beautiful. It's a
I-
Park City T-shirt.
No,
It's
I
beautiful.
can't.
It's
No,
beautiful.
just no.
It's a tattoo
Can't
and some
unsee
floppy
it.
Your
skin is
cheeks
what
are
I'm seeing.
rosy, and it
I'm
does
seeing
look like you're not wearing a
I'm
top.
seeing- I'm seeing a floppy
Were
skin
you
and a
naked on
tattoo.
that podcast too, Jackie?
In his mind, he
Of
was.
course.
Yeah.
Oh, that was
You
a
said
fake
naked
one.
and your clothes
That's so
disappeared.
funny.
It was
You
like
don't
that.
understand.
Is she still buying the naked podcast?
Damn, that's so
Yes,
funny. That
yes,
would be
let
a
her
thing
go
that
with
I would
it.
participate in. My friends and I, we spent a lot of time just in the nude. Yeah.
Katie, he was on the Howard Stern show. I'm
you know
pretty
what?
sure.
This is so funny. You
they
guys already know
measured
the types
on
of
camera,
conversations we're
or-
gonna have when I get off of here.
Huh? What?
I'm just blown away tonight. Every single part of this, I'm blown away at.
Well, thank Danny
Whatever-
Danko for
whatever
making the
that
introduction.
means.
No,
Whatever that
because
means.
I'm having such a spectacular time, and it took everything I had to make it here tonight. And I'm
She was
so
too high in the.
I was
she was
so
high in
high.
the forest. And
Yeah, you got to remember you're on acid and smoking pot. You know, maybe it's not as
I just
spectacular
there's
as
no
you
sense
might
of
think.
there's no sense of urgency. You know, I'm like my feet are in the stream.
Say
I don't
anything
have a
you
sense
want.
of urgency, and also Fridays are my favorite because I get to hang out with fucking people I've never met in my whole life, and y'all are so interesting. Danny, you always come with such great energy too.
Now,
And
what is-
Adam,
what
you guys
is-
are like the creators of culture here, and so it's such an honor to get to fucking smoke a joint with you guys. This
What
is
is
cool.
Katie's connection to you two guys?
that's
I'm-
our landlady.
That's
That's the landlady. That's the landlady.
I'm the landlady.
She took some lemon juice and the
No,
acid.
we're
is back.
friends before she was our landlady, but she was
Yeah.
our landlady for a little while.
No,
And she
yeah.
became the landlady. That
Oh,
was our
really?
character in the
Wow.
show. She was our character landlady because she would just kind of pop in when we were
Okay.
when we did the show out of her house.
You
But
were
she's-
you were there in the heyday of our show for whatever reason, from
I've been a
March
fan.
of 22 to March of 23. Jackie, the show had 1.3 million plays on SoundCloud, and we only do one show a week. So we were doing this from Katie's house in
my
a
bedroom.
bedroom.
So basically, what you're telling me, you waited until your show had completely gone into the fucking toilet before you asked me to come on the show.
Yes.
No, you're bringing.
Truth.
You're pulling us out of the toilet.
Yes,
now.
you're
Well,
bringing
now we
us
have
up.
now we have a proper studio. We're
raising the
out of
bar.
my bedroom,
Oh yeah.
Right.
and we're in a proper studio.
We
However,
upgraded and downgraded.
that's
all the
where-
same
But you
they
still
come-
haven't answered the question. What is the connection between you three?
So that's what
She
I was
was
gonna
the
say. I'm
landlady.
circling back. Is I was a fan of the show, and Adam and I we had met at a couple. I think it was a cannabis thing.
No, it was a mushroom event. It was a mushroom.
No, I met you.
Oh, you met earlier.
Yeah, I met him at a cannabis expo, and I had already been listening to the show because Adam is like bubblegum is famous where I grew up. Everybody's wanting that all
Well,
the time.
And the funnier part is that her ex was a fan of the show, got her to listen to the show. Then they broke up, and we ended up doing the show at her house. So it was like kind of a full circle thing where it was just like.
Yeah, I like that. That's fun.
Yeah.
And so, where did Dave sneak in?
Exactly.
Years ago.
Exactly.
He needed some hash. I told him to come by the studio. I put the hash
tricked
there.
me.
I said, come over here. Come over here. You can sit on the mic. And
No.
then
The bird. He's the bird brain behind the.
I really
So-
didn't want to.
so-
I don't know.
So then I realized I needed an Ed McMahon on my show because I was missing that element, and
So he never left.
he never left.
He
He
showed
never
up. He never left.
The
Pretty
sidekick.
much.
How did
Pretty
you
much.
end up on the Howard Stern show? How did you end up doing that?
I will send you my book because it's a long,
I would
wonderful
love this.
story.
Will you? Okay, I'm really gonna reach out to you, Jackie. You're hysterical.
But the bottom line is, I sent him my 3 self-produced comedy albums.
Okay.
But I'll send you the book because it's a pretty interesting story. Am I right, Danko? Is it interesting?
It's very interesting, and my son grew up listening to your jokes on the little play.
Joke Master Jr.
Joke Master Jr. and everything. So I mean, we have such a history, and you're such a historian of comedy. I mean, we're playing it down, I guess, a little bit, but your joke telling abilities and historical memory of the craft of joke telling is ridiculous. I just want to give you your flowers for that because
You notice that when somebody's complimenting me, I don't interrupt them.
I love it.
Thank you, Dave.
yeah,
It's the
yeah.
truth.
I mean,
I'm trying to not take up time saying all that. But you
Yeah, you can
changed
read
so
around.
much of my childhood,
This is-
and for the better. And it was so amazing to be able to laugh every single day. And the joke line is still up, right? It's a 516 Long Island area code.
516-922-9463.
I have a funny little story. I don't know if it's relevant or not, but when I was a kid, not a kid, but like a teenage drug dealer, you couldn't rent cars in Boston
dirty.
unless you were
That's
25
Danko's
years old.
movie when I was a teenage drug dealer.
I was just
love
going to
this.
say, put
You couldn't
quotes
in Boston
on that.
In Boston, you couldn't rent a car unless you were 25 years old. But there was this one guy who you could call. It was 1-800-GOT-CARS, and he would rent you a car in the middle of like a gas station parking lot. You could have been 18. It didn't really matter. You just paid him, and whatever. And every time I saw him, he had a "I Stumped Jackie the Joke Man" shirt on.
I love that.
He was your biggest fan, and so to me it was like, that was my introduction way back when I was, a kid, and then of course listening to all the Howard shows. And
Do you guys remember, I don't expect you to, do you remember a talk show host named Jenny Jones?
Yes.
oh yeah, of course. Yep.
So I went down to work at the Fort Lauderdale comic strip, probably the first time I was there. I passed the audition at the comic strip in Manhattan, but I didn't want to haul my ass into Manhattan to make no money because I was producing shows out here and making at least some money. But Richie, who owned the comic strip, loved me, and he sent me to Fort Lauderdale. And there was 2 comics, Joe Bolster and John Heyman. Heyman, you know who Heyman is? This is trivia. Heyman's the Bubble Boy. Did you guys watch Seinfeld?
No. What is it about?
The Bubble Boy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
John Heyman was the Bubble. Well, if you knew Seinfeld, they'd make you laugh. So
We-
Joe and John are on the road with Jenny Jones. She was a comic. She had been a drummer in Wayne Newton's band. What? She had her own band in Las Vegas. She decided she's trying everything. She's going to try comedy. And she had, she was all fixed up and just young and just fucking beautiful. And she shows up with these two guys. And she had been in Las Vegas for years. So she slept with a gun under her pillow. She wasn't fucking around. She knew how cute she was. But she comes in with these two guys. And while they were on the road, I don't know how many cities they worked, but it was like the He-Man Woman Haters Club. They both knew they could never fuck her, so they shut her out. Whatever they did, she was not part of it. So she was like on the road with two guys that basically didn't even speak to her. So I come in to the comic strip, and then these three show up, and here's this pretty girl, and, I'm good at this shit. So I started chatting her up, and we're having fun. I said, we really need a car. And they're like, you can't get a car. You got to have a credit card. You got to have some kind of history. You can't get a car. I said, we're going to get a car. And they're like, you're going to get a car. So I said, Jenny, come with me. So we're walking, and she's thrilled because she hadn't been able to talk to anybody forever. So I'm like a god darn. We're having a great time. And we walk all the way from where the condo was to where the kind of right off of Route 1 where there was a bunch of stuff. And I'll never forget, it was Clem's Rent-A-Car. Clem with a K. Clem's Rent-A-Car. And I walked in there and I ran my shit. I said, listen, I got no credit. I got no credit card, but there's a new comedy club on Route 1. And there's going to be 3 or 4 comedians here every week. And they're all going to need cars. And they're not going to have any credit. But they're all good guys. You know right where they're going to be. You know where they're working. You'll have the address. There's not going to be any sweat. Take a chance and rent me a car. And the fucking guy rented me a car. And Jenny was like so impressed. And we drove down to the beach. And I stripped down to my underwear. And she stripped down to her bra and panties. This is like 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock at night. And we went swimming and ran in and came back. And we come driving up to the condo. We call it a condo. It was like a half a house that they rented. And we come walking in. They're like, where you guys been? I said, we just rented a car. Yeah, you rented a car. I said, well, look out the fucking window. And there's a car. They shit themselves. They could not believe it. And from then on, everybody rented from Clem. And it was great. And I never got near Jenny. I never tried. I figured it was, it was too weird, like shooting rats in a trap. But we go to the beach and, flirt and blah, blah, blah.
Have a good time.
And then at the last day, she has to call her father. So I go with her to call her father. And she's in a telephone booth. And her father says, you got to come visit me. And she says, will you come with me to visit my father? I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, I'm going on a Windjammer barefoot cruise. I'm going to have myself a riot. And she started crying. She's like, you don't want to come with me? I thought you liked me. I'm like, you didn't give me any fucking indication of that for 2 weeks, you stupid whore. What's wrong with you? So, and that was that. And she went on. And then 10 years later, or maybe 10 years later, she's got a talk show. And she comes on the Stern Show on the phone. And I said, it's my old friend Jenny Jones. And they never believed the word I said on that show.
That's fucked up.
And they said, Jenny, Jackie here is trying to say that he knows you. And she says, Jackie was the nicest person I ever met on the road. What a great guy. And they shit themselves, I'm still sorry I didn't get to fuck her, but that was almost better, But that was my rent-a-car story. See, it takes very little to get me going. I apologize.
No, don't apologize. And Katie,
I haven't even seen you smoke yet.
Get the done deal at Clem's Rent-A-Car.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Right now.
Squirrel.
You've not seen the movie Private Parts, have you? So you know.
I did see it before I had a stroke.
Oh, so you have to see it again.
Though, so I'll have to re-see
We have to see it again because one of the funniest lines from Match
Don't
Game.
tell her, you asshole.
I'm just saying.
Tell her. It's like, you know what? Years ago, people said, you got to see this movie, Blazing Saddles. It's so great. Yeah. The cowboys all sit around the fire and they all fart. And then I watched the movie and I said, this is going to be where they fart. I'm like, you wrecked the fucking... Don't fucking tell her about the movie.
Watch the movie, Katie.
Don't spoil it.
He's a spoiler. He's a spoiler.
I love him.
You know, there's a great joke about a chicken.
Can I
where he
do
gets
it?
to the other
I have
side.
one
Tell him
drop.
that one. Jesus Christ, oh fucking mighty. What are we dealing with?
I love him.
I'm so
man.
excited about this now.
You love him.
Jackie, you're
of how
Jackie-
fucked up is fucked up.
Jackie busting Dave's balls is like bucket level stuff for me.
I'm in
I know
heaven.
that.
Are you kidding me? This is great. I want to say
This is
something
like-
else for him
it's
to
like-
break my balls.
It's like being roasted by Rickles.
I love it.
Why?
Yes.
Why
Yeah.
are you? Who do you go back with here? Danny?
Me?
You go back
Oh.
with Dave. You go back.
I know
with Adam,
Dave.
You go back.
Yeah, I know Dave for years in Canada. I know Adam for the 30 years since first going to Amsterdam in.
He was a young
95 or-
buck. He was a young buck coming over to Amsterdam.
I was a
and
kid bringing
delivering
hemp,
hats. He was delivering
hemp
hats.
baseball hats to the shop that he had, the hemp store. But he also had a laminating machine at the store where you could bring. People would constantly give me hash, like nonstop. When I'm there with High Times, people are just giving me hash, and I didn't know what to do with it at the end. Like you said, you had to leave it for your friend. It was a whole caper. But Adam had the store where it was laminating. And actually, what's funny is it predates all of this like rosin revolution or whatever. But it was kind of like the precursor to all of it.
It was the precursor for sure.
And you could take all your hash and you could flatten it out, so it was like a flat piece of paper with it inside, two laminated pieces.
Well, I'd make
Which
that
is
easy.
perfect.
It
That's
wouldn't
fucking
smell.
perfect.
Yeah.
It wouldn't smell, and it would also go through the mail. So you could mail it like mail instead of like a
Allegedly.
package. So it would go through the mail machine. Any packages are going to get sniffed or scrutinized, but mail is just mail. So mail just goes through the machine quick, and you could do 10 of them, 15 of them, no matter what. I would have the hotel do it for me that I was staying in, with greeting cards from the hotel, and then I'd put the hash in the middle. And I'd come home, and every couple of days you'd get this mail of this beautiful, amazing
I was
amalgam
always
of
so
hash.
jealous of you guys going to this, the pot cups and Amsterdam
canvas
this
cups.
and Amsterdam that. And the only time I ever went to a pot show was with Eddie Bernard. I was out in
Yeah.
California, and I thought I was going to be a couple guys, with selling rolling papers. And it was like, and this is 20 years ago, and it was like the Los Angeles Coliseum or something.
Oh, I know exactly what.
And it
you
was
mean.
3 or
THC.
4
THC.
flights of, anything
Yeah,
you could
THC
think
Expo
of.
or-
Yeah,
Like,
had to be.
holy shit,
Yeah.
and that was that long ago. And,
that
stuff
year-
wasn't even legal everywhere yet. It was like,
It was 2009, actually. I know exactly what you're talking about. And then
that
that
sounds right. That
and it
sounds
was
right.
it was the same. The funny thing that year is they had the AV Awards on one side, and they had
The pornography.
yeah. So they had
Right.
you had to go. So the escalators were like going into so you had the stoners going in one direction, and porn stores going in another, and then you see like people kind of like
And the
switching.
two shall meet.
No, and they
You'll
let people
remember this.
that
You
year.
know
They
who
said
Eddie-
you could go.
Eddie
to
hired me and flew me out. He was working with a company that sold it. Look, it was the size of a refrigerator.
Oh, BC
What,
Northern
you-
Lights.
but
BC
you-
Northern Lights.
Yeah, and you grew
Yeah, it
pot
was the
inside
grow
the
box.
refrigerator.
I remember
It's the
that.
grow box. Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
out there helping promote that. I didn't know it. And they sent me a free one. It was huge, and it was in my basement for a couple of years. I finally got the fuck rid of it. I didn't know what to do with the thing,
It was not really ideal. It was a bit low and wide compared to what you really need. You know what I mean? So it didn't
I didn't even look at the manual. I said, this
that thing
this
always
gotta
took
go.
a big. That was
You're-
a back cover.
You prefer outdoor. You prefer outdoor to indoor. It's like
Yeah,
sun grown, free weed from the sun.
I have a great college, and I bet you've heard this story from people before. When I was in college, I just started smoking pot. I decided I was living with my girlfriend, moved off campus, and so I wanted to grow pot, and I got myself a bunch of those little brown starters,
Yeah.
and
Jiffy Pots.
planted pot, and put the aluminum foil around the whole cloth, the whole thing,
Sounds so
and had
ghetto.
the lights, and they grew, and they got about an inch or an inch and a half tall, and they died. One by one, they died. I'm like, am I so stoned or drunk that I forgot to water them, or did I overwater them? Well, what did I do? It's like, what the fuck? And then the next year, I said, you know what, fuck it, I'm going to do it again. And I got the same cups, and I put in the pot, and they grew, and they got 1.5 inches tall, and one by one they all died. And then I don't know how, but all of a sudden it dawned on me, those were little pots, and they, whatever they were made out of, had weed killer in them. So when the roots of the pot got to the little cup, the weed killer was killing them. I was like, I'm putting them to death. I don't know how long it was before
Jackie's
I figured
torture
that out.
chamber.
Like, what a fucking idiot!
Seedling
what
torture
a fucking
chamber.
idiot!
Yeah, well, the thing with those Jiffies too is that they're very. I don't like Jiffy pots myself. They've always been a little bit weird because if you overwater them, it's a problem, and definitely can't underwater them either. So you're kind of in this real weird, fickle spot, and
Jackie,
they're tough.
Jackie, you had some stories with the neighbors, like the neighbors' kids that saw your pot plants or something.
Oh, you know what? I've been doing this so long that the kids that used to steal my pot, they probably have grandchildren by now. But one time they came in the middle of the day, and I looked out my bedroom window, and I see this kid in like a bathing suit running, carrying a huge black garbage bag. I'm like, no,
Rippers.
not in the middle of the day. And I came out, and they must have panicked. You know, when you're stealing something, like, I good, there's enough. Let's get out of here. And it was actually big, huge black plastic bags out by my pot garden. And they just got some of it. But then you got to live with, they're going to be back. They're going to be back. So I said, fuck it. And I harvested, I don't want to come out and see the place empty,
Yeah.
So funny. But,
Damn.
Could have slept with
that's
him.
That's a chance you take when you grow pot. Like, who gives a fuck,
It'll happen.
Yeah, it's so I grew up in New York also. My dad used to grow out in Jamaica, Queens at his house and his apartment. And when I went to see him, came in from Amsterdam, and I came in from the airport, and as I came in on the train, I could see his apartment. And I could see fucking plants from the train, you know what I mean? I'm just like, so I got to his house, and I was like, dude, you're kind of like a little obvious. And he had a bunch of bricks stacked next to his window, and he was like, oh, that's just in case people try to climb up. That I would throw bricks at them basically. And I was just like, dude, this doesn't sound. This is like a really hard garden. And then he starts yelling at the guy next door, and that guy starts yelling back, and he's like, and I see that guy walk out, and he's wearing a cop's uniform. And I'm like, is that guy a cop? He's like, oh, yeah, the neighbor, he's a cop. Fuck that guy. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, it's so New York. It was such a New York vibe. I got back. I was just like, dude, I can't believe you do this every year. Every year he would grow a plant outside. And
where I live, my pot garden, I have a strange plot of land. And my pot garden is my neighbor, the whole side of my neighbor's house was solid. And my other neighbor, and they finally put a second floor on their house, but no, you really could not see my garden. There was one place, like from the side, you could look through, and there's a break in the hedge. And the only person that could see my pot garden, not that they could see that far, was the guy across the street. If he was sitting in his living room, and the guy across the street was the head cop of Nassau County, my county, for 40 years. He's the top cop. And he was, and he had Stern memorabilia because Howard used to hire him to guard him after he had long since retired. He's like 88 now. But what a character. But this is so funny. The guy's name is John Kennedy. And my neighbors on the other side, their last name is Hoar, Hoar. So I tell people, yeah, on my block, I got Kennedy and Horse, which is just so funny. But he could have. Nobody gives a fuck. Nobody gave a fuck when they were supposed to give a fuck. At least around here.
No, and if you get it's kind of like nice to know that they're there if they're cool. You know what I mean? Because it's better to have a cop next door to you that doesn't give a fuck about what you're doing.
Right. Go away. Leave them alone. Meanwhile,
yeah.
my brother Bobby went to Sing Sing for 18 months for pot. He got busted in the early 70s, and it was the Rockefeller laws. And there was no ifs, ands, or buts. They just fucking took you. And it was like, now it's not even believable anymore. It was crazy. When I was going to school, like in 67, 68 in Ann Arbor, if you got caught smoking a joint, it was a parking ticket.
Yeah.
So we thought legalization was around the corner, like any second.
Yeah.
And then it just did a U-turn, and all of a sudden it became heinous. And what a fucking mess!
I think under Carter it kind of went.
That's what happened.
It went backwards, right? Didn't it?
Yeah,
Kinda like it,
yeah.
Carter was
after Carter,
about
basically Reagan when Reagan started.
yes, but
I mean,
Really the
It got worse.
beginning.
Oh yeah, then it got
Car-
really bad.
That's
Carter
when it
was
really
about
got bad. I mean, the war on drugs starts there. Really, I mean, not really. Obviously,
But
Nixon
Carter
had
kind of
his-
fucked it up. Like he took it off the rails. Like it was ready to go. It was
he
like,
was going to sign it. It was written.
It was
he
close.
was
Right,
ready to
right.
sign it. It was going to be decriminalized.
Yeah.
And someone in the Carter sphere got busted with a whole bunch of cocaine.
No, he just was doing cocaine at the normal party. It's a famous
Yeah,
story.
and
Yeah,
that was
at
it.
The normal. Yeah, he was the drug czar at the
Yep.
time. But Jackie, did you know George Carlin? Did you ever smoke with him, or did you have any...
I never smoked with him, but my friend Dennis Blair, who's a terrific comic, a great guy, he opened for Rodney and Joan Rivers and Carlin for years at a time. Rodney for 5 years.
Rodney was a big pothead, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh fuck!
Huge.
That's
And
why he's got him on the photo. He's got the bobblehead of him on the side there.
and
So Carlin.
Dennis opened for Carlin, and Carlin came into K-Rock one time. I guess he was to promote a show or something, and he went down to the recording studio at the end of the thing to record. I guess he was on the show for a second. I don't remember exactly. I'm sure he was a guest for a while, and he didn't acknowledge me, and I knew that he knew me because Blair said that him and George, once in a while, they'd just say fuck it and put in one of my dirty joke cassettes because they're on the road and just to fucking have a giggle. So I'm like, thank God I never told Howard that, because all of a sudden he came on, he didn't acknowledge me. And he went down and recorded the promos or whatever. On his way back, he pushed open the door of the studio and said, "I love the joke, man," and then just kept going. I was like, why didn't you fucking say something, George, you cocksucker? You know.
And what about Rodney? Rodney was a pothead too, yeah?
Yeah.
When me and Rodney got to Fort Lauderdale, we were in his room. He was staying at the Bahia Mar, and he had a room way up, and I was staying in the part of the Bahia Mar that was across the way from that. Well, I go up in his room, and his daughter Melanie, who at the time was 16, and she was there with her friend Debbie, and I flew them down with me, and then I picked up Rodney at the airport. You know, the whole fucking insane. It doesn't even sound like it could be true, but it is true. So I go up and I go into his room, and we're out on the veranda smoking a joint, and Melanie comes walking in through the door, and she goes, "Daddy." "Oh, Melanie, leave me alone. Don't fucking bug me, Melanie." Wait. I said, "Do you understand, Rodney, do you understand this is exactly fucking backwards? She's a 16-year-old kid. You're supposed to catch her smoking pot. She's not supposed to catch you." I thought, if that doesn't describe him to a fucking T, don't bug me, Melanie. Don't fucking bug me. Oh, God, you got to love it. You just got to fucking love it. Fantastic.
Holy shit. Who else? Come on, there's got to be somebody else you've gotten high with that you can talk about. They can be dead, right? So it wouldn't matter.
No, I wouldn't care about any of that. You know,
Yeah.
who? I don't even know who. You know, people that came through. Who came? Get people that did the radio show. Well, we didn't smoke that much. You know, there's times I didn't smoke pot for a while. Like, although after the radio show, I used to get stoned. We'd leave the radio show and go to the Palm to have a steak, or we'd go to the Carnegie Deli. And I'd always stop in the little cubby hole and get stoned with whoever's with us. But
do you remember?
they're great. We had the original cast of Jersey Boys on our radio show, and they sang a cappella a few things. We had Sid Bernstein, who you guys wouldn't remember, but he's the guy that brought the Beatles to Shea Stadium. He brought the Beatles to fucking America.
Wow.
And that's
Holy shit.
you know, you talk about a story that you can't, nobody, I mean, it's a true story. It's probably written in a million places. But Sid became a friend of mine. He actually told 2 Jew jokes on the radio show. And it was just so great. And he was like, "Don't you tell anybody I was on the show, you son of a bitch," you know. By now, he's very, very old. And we take him home. Me and this girl took him home in a cab. to his apartment, and we're yakking the whole time because every single thing he said was gold because he's from back then and everything was so new and the Beatles and holy shit, you couldn't get enough. So it was almost like a Columbo. As he's getting out of the car, he says, it's so funny. I heard about these guys, the Beatles, and I wanted to bring them to America. And I found out the name of their manager, and I got his phone number. And I called him in England. And this woman answers the phone, and I said, is Brian Epstein there? She says, hold on a second. Brian! Telephone! And he comes to the phone, and Sid said, this guy's got the top entertainment act in the world, and he's living at home with his mommy. He's hold on. He's a Jewish kid in England living with his mommy. And then he kind of took a beat, and he said, but to tell you the truth, I didn't think it was all that weird. Because at the time, I was living with my mother. And I thought I said, are you telling me that a Jewish kid living with his mother called up another Jewish kid in England and booked an act in
changed the trajectory.
New York that was going to change not only the music business, but change the fucking world? And he said, that's just how it happened. And then he hobbled up to his apartment, and I'm looking at Sandy like, did we just fucking hear that? Is that how great is that? And it's so believable, so fucking believable.
It's always like that, right?
Jews brought the Beatles to the United States and then went on to invent space lasers.
Well, it was
Right.
it was a Jew that introduced the Beatles to marijuana with Bob Dylan. It was Al Aronowitz and Bob Dylan that got the Beatles stoned. I think on that same trip in Manhattan
with Mary the K and
in '65 they got because Dylan thought that they already smoked weed because he thought that they said I get high,
right, and
they were saying I can't hide, and obviously they were curious about it, and in the hotel room they smoked, and for years later they always called it having a laugh. Like if it was Ringo or Paul or John or whoever.
Oh, that's fun. So let's go have a laugh.
Let's go have a laugh. Yeah, let's go have a laugh. And that became their slang for like, let's go get high. And that's and
talk
that
about Beatles trivia. Yep. Beatles trivia 3 days ago. There was a book sign, a autograph signing and a picture show at the Oyster Bay Frame Shop, and it was my old friend May Pang. Do you guys know who that is?
Oh, yeah, of course. May Bang. May Bang.
Is the first note I wrote about her. It's the first thing I say when I see her. She still gets pissed off.
Yeah.
40 years later.
She worked for John and Yoko, and then when John had his Lost Weekend, which was actually like almost a year in LA, that was when he and May Pang were kind of having
with Yoko's blessing.
Blessing, having an affair. Go out there, have fun, drink your what was it, the what's that called, the milk and fucking brandy thing that they would Brandy Alexander's, Brandy Alexander's, and that heckling the Smothers Brothers, all that happened that at that time, but it was May Pang who was with him for that, right? Like
she was great. That gang, John Lennon, Harry Nilsson, Mickey Dolenz from the Monkees, and another member of that gang lives right down the street from me, Jimmy Webb, the songwriter.
Oh, wow.
And he was just a kid then. So he was the guy that would drive them because they'd get so fucked up. And I remember we got to be friends. He came over a couple of times for New Year's Eve dinner, and he said something that I still, when you hear something, you can't unhear it. And he said to me, if you got to know the Beatles individually, you wouldn't like any of them. And I said, don't fucking tell me. I don't want to fucking hear that. Maybe he was a kid that they bossed around or something.
Right.
Well, don't fucking ruin him.
But all of that happened to them when they were like 20 to 27. I mean, they broke up as a band when they were 27. So, and going back to the weed thing, I mean, the Beatles, from when they started smoking weed, that was 64, 65. That did change the course of history, what that weed did to them, because you get a completely different Beatles, a completely different everything.
I know, it goes straight to Sgt.
But what were
Pepper
you
right
saying,
away.
Jackie, about May Pang in 40 years?
What do you
About
mean?
May Pang. You were just saying that there was something that just happened 3 days ago with May Pang.
Oh, no, she was signing at the picture frame. They're very good friends of mine, so I just went to see. I always see her when she's close, because she put out a fantastic documentary.
Yeah.
And it didn't get much play and didn't get much promotion, but I'm sure it's on one of the cable channels, and it's really interesting. Her pictures are great. I mean, she was John Lennon's girl for a year and a half. I mean, it wasn't just some girl he was fucking. That was his main squeeze. And she was
she
so
worked for them.
cute.
She worked for them for many more years. I mean, she was an assistant,
Forever.
basically,
She was
booking
there.
all their bookings and everything. And apparently he really enjoyed Thai weed, was like what I heard was just working at High Times and, Al Aronowitz and those guys. Even the guy who used to go through Bob Dylan's garbage was peripherally related to us in a weird way.
Jeez.
Now,
now wait a minute. Now
the garbologist.
I know so much about. I thought I knew so much about the Beatles, but I don't recognize who's the guy with Dylan? Al?
Oh, it's Al Aronowitz. Yeah, he was like a buddy of Dylan's, and basically made that introduction between him and the Beatles at the I think it was at the Algonquin. I think it was the Algonquin Hotel on their first tour over, and they were nervous to meet Dylan, and they didn't want to seem uncool either. You know what I mean? Like
our little historian over here.
He assumed, because he assumed they were cool. He was like, "Oh, I get high. You guys get high," and they were like, kind of. No, not really."
That's the most classic example of peer pressure in the world.
Right?
Bob Dylan's going to get stoned. Like,
right.
You're smoking reefers?
You're gonna smoke. It's like people. Willie Nelson. I think Willie Nelson does that to people a lot too, where they're like, they meet him and they're not prepared to smoke, but
my
they
buddy
kind of have to.
Get ready.
My radio partner Ian Carr, he's the one who did the documentary on me. It's on Amazon Prime. It's called Joke Man. It's not bad, but we went.
Watch it, you guys.
We finally
Prime.
Got Willie, because I had sat with Willie and told jokes with him for 10 or 15 minutes like the year before. And his daughter, Amy, who's a very good pal, she videotaped the whole thing, but wasn't great quality. And Ian said, well, we got to try and redo that. And I got Willie to agree to it. So we flew to New Orleans, and he was at the House of Blues. And we went into his trailer, his bus. And it was so funny because Ian is not really a pothead. And that's exactly what happened. By now, Willie had the thing, like, I don't know what's it called? The little thing where you just suck it in,
Like a vaporizer?
Yeah, the little vape thing.
Uh-huh.
And we go in there, and he takes a big hit, and he hands it to me, and I take a hit, and then he takes it, and he hands it to Ian. It was the same thing. It's fucking Willie Nelson. What are you gonna do? No, I don't smoke. So Ian took a big hit of it, and then he coughed for the rest of the time. It was just hysterical, just fucking
You're
wonderful.
hitting what Willie Nelson gives you, though.
Of course you are.
Fuck yeah, you are.
You don't want to be
Yes,
the
Willie.
narc,
Yes, Willie.
You don't want to.
It was like the opposite when he came to us in Amsterdam. When he came in, and like we were all excited. This was like when we first got our spot, so we didn't have much going on there. We just had just painted a place or whatever, and I had some weed ready for him. And he just like came over and grabbed a roach out of the fucking ashtray and started smoking it. And I'm like, oh no, we have weed for you. And he's like, no, I like this, and he's like, I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. And he's like, and then from that point on, anytime somebody picked up a roach, we called that pulling a willy, you know what I mean? Like,
it's funny because any weed that he gets, he puts it all together. He grinds it all. He doesn't really differentiate between different strains.
Waste.
He just mixes
Zero
everything
waste.
up and smokes it. And if there's a roach in the ashtray, he lights it up and smokes it.
My favorite story.
God's own pothead,
My favorite story about that crazy motherfucker. He came on the Stern Show, and he beat me in a rolling contest. And I have that footage. Somebody sent me that footage. I actually have the footage of the rolling contest. It was unbelievable. So then he came back on another time, and we played music. like we had a band called the Losers because we were so like Howard said, oh, anybody can have a band. So Scott the engineer played drums and Howard played keyboard and me and Fred played bass or guitar or whatever. And Howard was always, very iffy about doing it. I said, ask the fine. He said, Willie, would you be kind enough to do a song with us? He was like, hell yeah. And we played On the Road Again. and I actually take a guitar solo in it. It's like, horrible.
I fucking love
so
this.
fucking amazing.
Incredible.
So he comes on the show a bunch of times. Now,
Epic.
my classic move on the show was I would always get everybody's addresses, either their record company or their home, whatever I could. I would have Grillo get it, and I eventually got all kinds of shit for this, but I didn't care. So I sent Willie a ton of my shit because I know they're musicians and they're on the road in a bus, and there's nothing that musicians like better than dirty jokes. At the time, I didn't know what a monstrous joke fiend. We've been exchanging jokes for 25 years at this point, just sending jokes back and forth. And it's so much fun, but I didn't know that. So we went to see him. It turned out that, do you guys know the band Zebra? You wouldn't know that. A band named Zebra.
If Mark, our normal sound engineer, was here,
I know
he
the
would
song.
know.
Oh, Vinny knows?
Yeah.
I was going to say Vinny
knows.
knows.
We got old
I
man
knew
Vinny
those
knows.
guys.
Yeah.
I knew those guys, and one of the guys in the band, years later, his wife was Willie's masseuse. And I hadn't seen them in 25 years, and we met for a drink, said we're going to see Willie, let's go, and we'll go smoke a joint afterwards in the bus. And we went, and it was so fucking late. It was like 12:30, and he was still playing. And I'm like, I better get the fuck out of here. I'm going to get fired. So I blew my chance to get stoned Willie, and I left. I was so pissed off. And Lisa called up and says, listen, you got to do it. We got to do this again. Willie wants to get stoned with you. So me and my wife, Nancy, and Felix and Lisa, and two of the New York Giants. And I think they were in season. I don't know. I don't follow football. But we went to Westbury Music Fair. We were running around the catacombs trying to look for a place to smoke some pot. And I got my homegrown. It's a really good year. I'm so proud of this shit. And then the concert's over, and we go out back. Now, Willie would go into his bus for 20 minutes or a half hour, but the people would gather around the bus as fans, and he would come out and he'd sign everything that everybody had until he was done. And it was just, I'm sure that's how he built this ridiculous fan base. But we show up, and there's so many people there, and Gator, the bus driver, sees me and says, Jackie, come on, Lisa, come on. And so the six of us went into the bus. And I'm like, I died and went to fucking heaven. This is Willie Nelson's bus. And I sit down at the little Formica table across from him. And Felix and Lisa and the two Giants are behind us. And we're like, it's crazy, right? And I said, Willie, let's smoke some pot. He said, well, hell yeah. I said, I got some great homegrown. He said, well, hell yeah. Roll it up. So I don't know whether he had papers or whatever. I took some, and I rolled up a joint. And I said, we need a match. This is Willie Nelson's fucking bus that he's been in for 50 fucking years. And we're looking for a match. I'm like, you've been in this bus forever. How could you not have fucking matches on every, he's laughing. And so in a bus, like a tour bus, there's all kinds of little drawers, right? All kinds of little drawers. And I swear to you, this is one of the worst and greatest stories. I pulled open one of the little drawers, and there was a copy of my CD, Hot Dogs and Donuts. And I was like, I came in my pants like, holy shit. And I lifted it up.
And there was a fucking lighter.
It was still in the plastic. They hadn't opened up. And I said, Willie, you motherfucker, this would have been my favorite story. Now it's my least favorite story. You didn't even open the fucking thing up. And he's laughing. So then, and we finally got a match and smoked some pot, and was, and it's surreal. And then I wound up smoking pot with him like 5 or maybe 8 times, a million times. But that first time, and the New York Giants are smoking pot, and it was just fucking surreal. It was just fucking unbelievable. But obviously, I had sent all that shit, and they had put that shit in the tour bus.
I was
So
gonna
whether
say
or
it's
not
in
they
there.
ever
It's close.
listen to it, who cares? Great fun, great character, just
love
great
it.
character.
We struggle to find a lighter before every show.
Somehow on this
Every
show,
show.
it's like our never-ending curse of like, really, we don't have a fucking lighter.
don't
The
have a
show's
fucking
rolling,
lighter?
everybody's like panicking. You know what I mean? So
Scrambling.
I try to.
It never fails. When I'm sitting there watching TV and smoking a joint up, I'm always looking. I'm like, how could you not have a
Or at height,
specified place where this is where the fucking lighter goes, and you put it back there when you're done?
Yeah,
it's
or you
crazy.
hide it from yourself. That's the
I
other
hide
stoner-
it from
that's the
myself.
stoner thing where
I
you're just
hold
like,
it in
"What
my
the
hand.
fuck is that? You're looking. Yeah, exactly. It's in your hand. You're looking everywhere for it. You're like,
No, what was it, about 15 years ago or so? They came out with those,
the
you'd
zip-
strap them
Yeah,
and
that
it would be
thing.
on
I
there.
have that fucking.
That was a
stuff.
moment
they
in
would-
I'm
time.
not using
but-
that dumbass thing.
If your
A lighter
friend had
leash,
one and
lighter
wasn't
leash.
paying
Yeah, lighter
attention,
leash. I'm not
he
using
got
that
hit in the
dumbass
dick.
thing. However, I appreciate
Well,
that.
they did save lighters. It's kind of crazy when you had those for that little moment in time. It was like, wow, I can hang on to one lighter for like 3, 4, 5 months. It's like nuts because normally you're just going through them like crazy.
I had no idea how long.
I have
they
so many.
lasted.
Everybody
Lighter
that
leash
comes
moment.
to this show, I steal a lighter from. I go
What?
home with.
You're the
everybody's
reason!
li- I am
There you go,
literally
boss.
the
We
reason, guys.
figured
I
it
have
out.
so
Can you
many
smell it?
lighters at home.
Holy fuck!
It's
So where are
actually
you?
fucking
Are you in a-
laughable.
Are you in a studio or are you in your house?
No,
Katie?
we've graduated. We have our own studio now.
We're all right
We're
together.
not in my own.
This is the perfect
my
moment
house
for Vinny to
anymore.
switch
We're
it
We're
on
not in my
over.
bedroom
There
anymore.
is.
I'll show you exactly where we're at.
We're
We're at So High Cafe right here, 4300 West Alameda, here in Denver,
So
Colorado.
High Cafe. I love that.
Do you like
I love
barbecue, Jackie?
You like barbecue? You barbecue?
it. Are there any Jews in show business?
Do you like tacos?
I'm
Do you
pretty
like
sure.
tacos? Do you like?
Of course, I love I love everything.
Exactly. You
Well,
seem like you like joy.
we are-
This
we
is
are
the
a
spot to be.
Barbecue and taqueria and coffee shop.
And
as
we
seen
do our
in
podcast
Westward.
here.
Oh, so you guys own this joint?
Well, this is my buddy Vinny.
Vinny
who's-
owns
who's
it.
Vinny,
running
he's one of our
behind
producers.
the scenes. Vinny is.
He's the new landlord.
All right, so send me the address of your barbecue place, and I'll send you a big box of all my crap.
Yes.
That's awesome.
Oh, I'm
All
so
right.
excited about this.
And next
It's
time,
not
I want to do a
crap.
commercial. I do with these cameo.com things.
Ooh.
And some people like them and some people hate them. I fucking
we love,
love doing them because I was made to do them. It's called cameo.com/Jackie Martling. And people call it, they say, my brother-in-law's an asshole. He hates black people, or he loves
fucking
Jews.
love
or
this for
he's
you.
he's a midget, or he loves fat jokes, or he loves shit jokes.
It could
And
be
I can
all
just
all
go
the
down
above.
Damn, you
fucking
don't
line,
need.
And I give them 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, and I got like 200, 5-star reviews. People love them, and they get to keep that for the rest of their lives. And it's the greatest
awesome.
deal.
Cameos are
This
good.
And it's a nice way to
hysterical.
make money. So get yourself a fucking Cameo. It's cameo.com/Jackie Martling. I didn't mean to do an advertisement.
No.
but as long
No,
as-
Are
I
you
was gonna
kidding
ask
me?
you for that.
Please keep going.
long as
Keep
you're
going.
advertising your barbecue stuff,
Yeah, I was gonna ask
and
what you'd like.
my documentary Joke Man is on Amazon Prime, and
We showed that.
and
I'm
people
gonna
seem
watch
to
that
really like
tonight.
it. It's fun. It's honest. Honest is a big deal nowadays. It's kind of funny.
It's kind of well. The good
Yes.
part about that is it's very easy. It's much easier to be honest than it is to be dishonest. So
That's what
at
I'm
the end of the
finding.
day, it's a lot less pressure. You're just like, hey,
You know
guess
the
what?
best quote about that.
How do you
Mark,
remember what you said if you're not
Mark
honest?
Twain said, "If you tell the truth, you don't have to
You don't.
remember anything,"
Yeah, there you
which
go.
is the greatest quote. Just the greatest quote.
Hell yeah.
Exactly.
Like it.
Exactly. Well, thank you for giving us so much time.
Yeah.
My pleasure. I know that I got a big fat steak waiting for me. And what
You
time is
enjoy
it?
that.
It's late. It's late. You
It's
stayed
9
on with
o'clock
us the
here.
whole
If
time.
you're in New York,
Oh,
it's almost
fuck.
9.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
you're in trouble.
in a
Jackie,
lot of
you're
trouble.
great. Thank
No, I'm
you.
not
You
in
enjoy
trouble.
your steak.
I'm worried about. Oh, and I told myself, don't turn off your fucking phone.
Uh-oh, here comes.
We have that effect
You're about to get
on a lot of
blasted.
people. Thank you so much.
Just look on the web and see.
Oh yeah,
do
We're showing it right now.
We're showing it. Yeah.
No, not me. Do
That's
Yankees score?
Funny.
Yankees.
Oh.
I'm doing
That's
that.
in the other
You're
room.
fucking adorable.
That's the other room.
Danny's on it.
Don't say that, Katie.
I got-
I'll fuck you
Danny-
soon as
I
well.
love
Yankees
you.
are-
You're so great.
Jackie, Yankees are winning 4-6 in the
Yes.
bottom of the 6th.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah.
4-6. They're not winning if it's 4 Oh,
Well, 6-4 then.
okay, great.
Yankees
great.
6, Orioles
What inning?
4.
What inning?
6.
Bottom of the 6th.
Plenty of ball.
I
Plenty of
didn't
ball
miss
left.
it. Like I can go smoke pot and eat my steak and watch the Yankees.
Hey, do you
Yes,
go to
you
Yankees games ever at Yankee Stadium?
I'm a September Yankee fan.
All right.
You know,
well,
I start
in a,
paying attention.
I work in a
Huh?
dispensary across the street from Yankee Stadium on Girard Avenue. It's called Conbud Yankee Stadium. I'm
Oh,
only
wait,
there
no.
on Saturday.
Danko doesn't get to give a plug. Jackie can
Don't
give a
you
plug.
dare.
No, Danko.
Shut
No,
up.
go ahead. I'm just
Shut up.
kidding. Go ahead, Jackie. Go.
Do you know the people that work at Yankee Stadium?
Yeah, they come in and buy weed from me all the time.
So can we get in? Can
Yeah,
you
we
get
can
into
get
a
in.
game?
Yeah, we can get into games. We can get into soccer or baseball, whatever you like.
Fuck soccer.
Okay. Yeah, baseball. I got,
How do you really
I got
feel?
you. I got you. I'm at Conbud Yankee Stadium every
No,
Saturday.
I played soccer in high school and I fucking loved it, but I don't follow it. But I love
Well,
the
it's
Yankees.
New York
you know.
Football Club. They're moving to Queens though, anyway. But they're fun. But Yankees is, forever. And
What's
we're right
the place where you work? Is they sell pot or
They sell pot. It's called Conbud Yankee Stadium. It's right by
Pull that
Yankee
up,
Stadium.
Vinny.
It's on Girard
Danko,
Avenue.
you got to email me.
It's
that.
right by
I'll
Yankee
never
Stadium?
remember.
That's
I will.
amazing.
Yeah,
I was totally
yeah.
confused. I figured it would be
You
right.
know
Wait,
what? My
Conbud
nephew's
Yankee
a pot.
Stadium?
I bet anything my nephew's
Conbud.
been there.
Conbud. C-O-N. No, I'm telling
What a
Dave. Yeah,
terrible
Oh,
Conbud.
Conbud.
Who came up with
Yeah,
that?
it's all about.
What's that? That doesn't work.
Yankee beer bar right there. Is there? Are you near
Oh
that?
yeah, there's Billy's. Yeah, there's a bunch of bars all around us. There's the
It's a
Draft
great
House right there.
location.
There's a cigar smoking place right next door to us.
We're in.
Jamaican
We are
food
in.
place.
All right,
Yeah.
There you go. You got a
I
date.
really should go. My girlfriend's going to kill me. Listen, another thing I do when people yell at me, I answer every fucking email, and most of the emails I get, people say, "You're not going to answer."
Otherwise,
that."
you wouldn't be
Right?
here. You wouldn't be here. if you didn't answer
I
that.
write back, yes, I do. So my email is jokeland@aol.com, and I don't want to hear fucking AOL. Shut the fuck up.
It's the same one
God
you've had
damn,
forever.
he is so great. You just get
You've
better
had
and
it
better.
forever.
You've got mail.
You get better
J-O-
and better.
If you're smart, you learn how to turn that off. It's JOKELAND, jokeland@AOL.com. Please drop a line. And I love it. People say, oh, I heard of you 40 years ago. I heard of you 20 years ago. Or I snuck in when my grandparents used to play your records. I love all that bullshit.
Love
Just
it.
still love it. So
Awesome.
Well, we love
so
you,
let's
Jackie.
do this
We
again.
love you,
Let's do this
Jackie.
again.
I look
For sure.
forward to it, Jackie.
Come to MJ BizCon with us. We'll arrange. We'll make sure you have a pass to get in.
Now,
Danny,
where is
Danny
this?
will pay for everything.
In Las
Vegas.
Las Vegas in December.
When is I need an excuse to come to Las Vegas.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
Great.
Well, you got to come
great
to Champs
idea.
Trade Show in May for sure. That's the trade show I work for.
You know, I
Yeah.
2 for 2.
I just did a
We can
show
go to
at-
Vegas
Damn.
a couple times. Yeah.
You got to come
Vinny.
to that.
Hold
I'm
on,
gonna
Vinny.
show
In
it.
post,
Here.
we're taking that out.
He's like 3 for 3.
Yeah, we're taking that out in post, Danko.
Nah, he's
Champs
good.
Trade Shows.
Yeah.
Ah, he did it again.
What is a competing trade show?
It's,
No,
it's
I'm
not
just
competing.
fucking
No,
with
no. Everyone's fine.
Everyone's kumbaya
It's-
around here.
It's a show in May in Vegas, but yeah.
It's
you gotta
really
come out.
crowded.
I'm coming to Las Vegas. December, did you say?
Yeah.
December's
Yes.
way better than May. Nobody wants to be there in May.
And Champs is always too crowded.
Too high.
Yeah, there's way
Let's go to
too many
Vegas twice,
people there.
Jackie. I'll go to Vegas with you twice. Let's
Yeah,
go.
we'll see you
Ah,
Oh.
okay.
December 2nd
There
through
we
the
go.
5th.
It's a date.
But yeah, you got to come.
Hell yes. It'll be fun.
So it is MJ BizCon, and I believe you can do /Adam Dunn show, and you get 10 or
I've not ever
15%
been to
200%
camps
off.
out there.
No, I'm talking about
I
MJ
know.
BizCon.
I'm talking about both of them. However, I'm already planning me and Jackie's trip. So
All right.
We'll be at both.
There you go, Jackie.
We'll be at both,
Champ-
Jackie.
ChampsTradeShows.com.
I got,
I love you, Danny. You're so great.
It's not possible.
Yeah,
It's not possible.
Champs
Sorry,
not-
Champs not possible. Champs not possible.
well, if this was 40 years ago, I'd say I got to hang up so I can go jerk off. But
Have
that
a good
hasn't
one,
happened.
Jack. Thank you, Jackie.
Hasn't
Oh, yeah.
Enjoy your
happened in a
night,
long
Jackie.
time.
Such a lovely.
Danny, thanks for hooking me up, and thanks
Absolutely.
you kids. And I
Love you,
look forward
Jackie.
to. We'll do it again whenever you want.
Yeah,
I-
nice
I
to
love
meet
doing
you.
it.
Thank you, Jackie.
Enjoy your steak.
Thank
Bye,
you.
you kids.
Medium
See you later,
Peace.
alligator.
Bye. Thanks, Jackie.
In a while, crocodile.
Thanks, guys.
That was spectacular.
Thanks,
F,
guys.
Jack.
Hilarious.
After a while, buddy.
Danny, thank you
oh,
for
now
hanging
you're still
out.
Here. Look at that. You don't even drop after that. I think
Thank you
just
for
be like,
hanging
and I'm
out
outta
with
here.
us.
I know.
We're so
Yeah,
grateful
no,
for
that was
you.
fun. I'm glad.
All right, fuck off, Danko.
Yeah.
That was a
Don't
lot
you
longer than I
dare.
expected.
Thank you, buddy.
Jeez.
I appreciate you very much.
Absolute
Yeah,
pleasure.
yeah,
I look
We got
forward
some
to
good
when you
stories
come to
out of
Colorado.
Jackie.
What do you
too.
want to plug?
He already plugged enough. He's plugged
Oh,
enough.
that's right.
Conbud.
And-
Yeah, Champs and Conbud. You know?
Oh, yeah.
CONBUD.
Like
Like Con Air. It's like Con
Stadium.
Air, but
What's
Con
the
Bud.
Yeah,
website?
what's the connotation?
Word to Joe Frazier got to do what pays you.
Oh,
Yes.
Oh, is
Check
it
this.
guys who
Yeah.
are ex-cons that are selling bud?
Yeah, Conbud. Yeah, people who
Nice.
were locked up for.
Second
makes
Yeah,
chance.
we'd like to
sense.
give people second chances at Conbud. So anybody,
Fuck
you know,
yeah.
I like that. Okay,
Yeah,
now
yeah.
it makes sense.
I like that a lot.
I
Yeah.
love this.
Yep.
This is spectacular.
Last
Well
Prisoner
done,
Project.
Danny.
there's a Last Prisoner Project gala coming up in October here in New York City at Sony Music Hall.
Do we get an
October-
invitation?
I believe it's October 25th, and they are actually honoring my partner, Mario, who is the head of Conbud Yankee Stadium. He did almost 2 years in New Jersey for growing weed, and he started the Conbud in Yankee Stadium. There's
Nice.
another Conbud in the Lower East Side that was started by Cos Marte, who will also be there. That's Cos there in the stroll.
We're
going
going to keep this in rotation
Fuck
every
yes.
week. This would be something we talk about
It's
every
really
week.
cool.
Great
There's 3
Conbud.
Conbuds. There's a Conbud in the Lower East Side, which is right by the Tenement Museum at I want to say Delancey and Essex or Delancey and Orchard. That's the big one. That's the flagship. That's the first one. There's a Conbud, and then there's 2 Conbuds in the Bronx. There's one at 135th Street in the South Bronx, and then there's one at Yankee Stadium, 161st and Girard, which is the one that I'm at, which is literally, that's the one you're showing right now. It's across the street from Yankee Stadium. We can see the stadium from inside the dispensary.
Oh, wow.
And again, we give people second chances. So if you've been locked up, you have a chance to work at Conbud, selling weed in the licensed legal system. And we have a lot of regulars. We got a lot of people that come by during Yankee games. We got the soccer people coming by. If J-Lo's performing,
Fuck the soccer
whatever.
people.
No, the
No, I
soccer
just
people
love
are
the way
awesome.
he
dude.
said that. That shit was his
The
comedic
soccer
timing
people are
so on
awesome,
point.
man. The soccer people are
Yeah, you
amazing.
get more people with soccer
You get
people,
all
man.
Yeah,
yeah.
shut
Cannabis
up.
connects.
A lot more
Golf, track and
potheads in the
field,
soccer
soccer.
world than
No,
in baseball.
Danko,
world,
we
to be honest.
appreciate it, and we're going to keep this in rotation for sure. This is
Awesome,
something we're
awesome.
talking
Yeah,
about.
no, I
and
appreciate
line up
that
a show.
too.
Line up a
Thank
show
you.
for us too. Might as well.
It's it's a great. Yeah, you should interview Kos and you should interview Mario as well.
Please.
Because both of them have incredible.
When are you about to have him
in-
on again? So we'll do 2 weeks ahead, and then that way we'll stay.
I'll
with
do
him.
them after you guys. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
2 weeks after
I'll
us.
do him after-
Yeah,
That's what I'm
you'll-
saying. Tell me when.
2 weeks after. So tell us before.
But yeah, they have great stories, and yeah, man, it's how I keep my ear to the street too, because it's the Bronx. I'm working with kids that are 30 years younger than me, and I feel it. I hear what's going on in the streets. It's not gentrified in the South, in the Bronx. You know what I mean? It's old New York, and it's fun, and it's a great crowd, and the people that come in there. Sometimes they're in tears because
Dave. Grow up, Dave.
we're by the courthouse. We are in
we
a
were
place.
a very proper show until you started pinching
Just
Danny's
ignore
nipples.
him. Yeah, do you see
I don't know
how
why you're doing that.
We're in a place,
so
where
professional.
people have really suffered from the war on drugs,
Fuck
and
yeah.
for them to see licensed legal weed being
Oh,
sold.
look at the placement of this.
Especially
It's,
by people that were criminalized.
There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah,
especially by
yeah,
the
no.
people.
Yeah,
There's a
and the
lot of
people
that
tell-
here
yeah.
in Colorado that they can't even
Yep.
participate now. You know,
I
they're
know,
seeing
I know.
things
It's the
that
opposite.
happen
We give them priority. So it's
Yes.
it's inspiring and fun, and I love it. And
That's so awesome, Danko.
when there's a Yankee game.
Sounds like a
it's
really strenuous
crazy.
schedule too. What, once a week you have to go? Is that what you said?
once a week. It's it's a fun.
I love it. No, that's
Hey, you put in the
spectacular.
hours, my
You
friend.
got to keep your ear to the street.
Yeah.
Champs
yeah.
recruiting.
yes.
You come in, they just start handing you envelopes, and you just walk out. That's how it goes. You're
I
old school.
love it.
Old
This
school
is
Danny.
Dan.
great. Thanks for hanging out
Thank
with
you,
us
Danko.
tonight, Danny.
Yeah, that was a lot
It's
of
so
fun.
good to see you.
Jackie's a peach, man. He's a real.
He's
He's a
awesome.
pisser, man. I
We're
love
super
him.
glad you could join
And
us. That was
he
awesome.
really deserves people to know his story and everything about him, check out that show on Amazon Prime.
Yeah, that's awesome.
It will enlighten you to the tremendous amount of knowledge that he's got. He's just a really good dude. It'll tell you all, everything you need to know about the Stern Show and him leaving and all the controversy of all that as well, because that's a part of his life. But he's so much bigger than that. He's so much more than that. His story is really important, and he's God's own pothead, man. He's a real. He's one of us. He's really one of us, and so we got to celebrate that. And
Absolutely.
especially, while people are still with us to celebrate.
Oh, he was smitten with Katie. He'll be on again.
Oh yeah. No, he's coming back soon. He'll be back
for sure.
I think he enjoyed himself because if he didn't, he wouldn't have stayed on this long.
Right.
I think he really had a good time.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you, Danko.
Thank you.
The 5 plugs are on us, and we're going to keep Conbud in rotation.
Hell yeah.
Awesome.
4300 West Alameda, the best barbecue in Denver.
I seen in Westwood. Oh, it's part of the now.
Yeah,
top.
was that wasn't
I'll see you
AI,
guys.
that black plaque you made up? That was
Is that real?
Yeah,
Is that real?
That was a real plaque, but they always,
You're nominated.
you got to buy it.
Oh, got it.
You got to
How
buy the
much?
plaque.
Peace, Danko.
Bye, you guys. Bye.
Have a good weekend,
Later, bro.
sir.
Have a good
Yeah,
weekend.
you
Bye.
guys too. Take care. Thanks.
Thanks, buddy.
We did
What-
not
what-
even
what-
rip
what-
him on
they-
formerly
they want big money,
Vinkovetsky.
$500, $1,000 with it.
500 for a crystal one, a wood one, and a digital one.
Rosin Dogs,
Okay.
after you buy us
Digital
4
wood? I
chairs.
don't even know what you're talking about. Like,
Crystal
Yeah.
that sits on your thing. And
you
then-
automatically just buy it and you get it.
Yeah.
It's weird. All right, never
I
mind.
rated good. I rated good enough to get it. I'm number 1 in Westwood.
Number one.
Good. Number 1.
Number 1 in Westwood.
4300 West
There's
Alameda.
him and
Come
Eric.
by.
Look at that, right? It's
Ozocoffee.com.
So we managed to run the show exactly to the time that we were supposed to run it because us trying to shorten the show is not going to work. You guys-
No, we're working at it though.
We're
This is a,
of course, we're going to get
We're on
great
time.
shows.
I knew this one was
We're
going
not cutting
long.
nothing off.
Ozocoffee.com. Done deal.
I've been
20 to
living off of
Money's
this
worth on the
all
Adam
week.
Dunn show. That's all I got to say.
20% off. It's amazing coffee. It's grown all
Eat it
across
instant.
planet Earth and shipped to Boulder, green, roasted here. Done deal 2025 in the checkout or in the promo
Dave talked
code.
about coffee we were supposed to get last week and then just drove away.
I
took
totally
it.
have it, and I left it at home tonight too. I
Katie,
knew I
got-
was forgetting something.
Katie, I got something for you.
It's sitting on the counter.
I got something for both of you.
It's a big bag.
I'm
Vinny
okay
always
for the
takes care of
moment.
it.
I can survive.
Why didn't
I got
Why do you
those-
remind me before? I
I'm
would
just
have
giving you
remembered
grief.
Remind you.
when I was at
See,
home.
Why
Mark,
did you
we
remind
miss
me?
you.
You got one
Buildersoil.com.
job.
I brought the hash.
You had
I'm
Two
so
jobs
grateful.
now.
I'm grateful
Oh.
for the
Buildersoil.com.
855-877-SOIL. They'll answer any question about growing anything.
Reach
Soil.
out.
Oh, I'm
Miles is
using,
in
I'm using
town.
some of that.
Yo dips.
Oh, you know what?
Jason
We're gonna.
plant speaker shit. Ooh,
Yeah, how do you like that? I
Oh, it's
wanted to
awesome.
try some of that. Okay.
I
My
almost
garden
made
is
the
pop-
joke.
Can't you smell it?
We need to make sure you have some yo tips, Jackie, so that you don't get sick at your age. You know.
No,
But
I'm so
I
glad
didn't
you
even
didn't
say
say
it.
that. Yeah,
didn't
wow.
even
I was
say
like,
it.
please don't let that be your other joke of the night.
Oh!
You did
Hey-o.
great. You did great.
Hey-o.
And I
Gotcha.
love how you guys were the young ones tonight.
Kids.
Fucking
Good night, kids.
Good night, kids.
I kept thinking we're even like we don't remember
That was a good
nothing.
one.
Yeah.
You guys were kids to him. It was the best.
He was born in
Because I'm a
48.
kid to you guys, so I love this.
You need to stay safe. Winter is coming.
Yo
Cold
tips.
and flu season. COVID, wook flu, conference cough.
Hippie
Oh,
lip.
yeah,
It's
conference cough is
hippie
coming.
lip.
It's coming.
Hippie lip. You
Don't
don't.
get the
At
flippin'
least you
hippie
could get
lippin'.
cured of conference cough. Okay. You need to understand Yo Tips, YoTip.com or Yo Products LLC. Don't share a joint unless you're using a Yo Tip. If
Be safe
somebody's
out
going to
there.
approach you with a joint, you say you got to put a tip
You
on
gotta
that.
put a tip on it.
You got to put a tip on that.
Yeah.
So you
I
can
have
go to their
no idea where your
website
mouth's been.
or you can write to them, yotip.com. It is the product that has kept us healthy for years since we met them. Love these guys.
Thank God for you.
Thank you, Jesse.
holoshealth.org, microdose and MMJ cards. Tell him you heard about it on the show. He'll give you 20% off.
Oh, dab bags.
Bum, 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 bum.
Just an amazing electronic dab rig. Big fat dabs, easy to clean. Dabx.com. Done deal at checkout gets you 20% off. That means you're going to get a Dabex Go and a cleaning kit shipped to your home for $159. You can't beat this. Dabex.com. 14er Boulder. The hash is so on point right now. Their rosin is amazing. Their BHO is processed by Apothecary. Their flour is all grown in-house. A variety of strains right now for those on a budget to those who really want some fire. They call them heirloom strains. Their genetic testing right now is on point. You have to try some of these new strains. You just have to go to their website and enter Done Deal at checkout. You get 20% off everything in your cart.
Grow bags.
So I got a phone call from someone. Lance actually does answer the phone now. Okay. So
heck yeah.
No, he
doesn't. You got a call from somebody from there.
You go to grovebags.com. This is plastic glass. It keeps your weed fresh and healthy.
I'm always very impressed with the fact that it seems like every single contest uses turp block now. Like they all figured it out, which is great.
It's a standard.
It seems like it's becoming the standard for everybody to figure out. Like, look at that, it's a good shot. Right
More than likely, the contestants required it because they didn't feel that their sample was handled correctly, so they made sure that the competition uses turp block bags from Grove Bags.
You just know that already says a lot right there. That
it does.
Everybody who has it.
But do ask for Lance when you call and tell him you want your Done Deal discount.
Tell him stop looking at his hot rods and start getting on your order.
Yeah. Don't hold it against him that he lives in California.
Oh, every time he puts a post, it's like some hot rod.
Let's go.
Some car he's about to restore, and you're just like,
grovebags.com.
I love your life.
Greenhouse kits from Hortitech Direct.
That's the last. Yes. I did not on my list of stuff. I still haven't called him. He did tell me. I did everything else.
12 by 10. What is it, Vinny?
12 by 12.
What did we talk about? Whatever we talked about
12
with
by
him.
12, and they said we're going to get a little corner
Jared,
piece.
I'm going to call 541-605-3555. HortitechDirect.com, the only solution for greenhouses in the cannabis space. Any climate in the United States, they'll even work with you internationally. HortitechDirect.com, 5% off your greenhouse if you mention the Adam Dunn Show. In addition to 10 brushes. Oh, yeah.
They're great. I love those
Dirt
brushes.
wipes.
Turpwipes.com/Done Deal. This is a must-have product. 20% off. Not everyone is such a neat smoker like Mr. X. Keeps everything clean. Some of us have friends like Adam.
Tully's a little cleaner.
Adam was just cleaning up after me, which I was getting
so there you go.
messy over here.
Turpwipes.com/Done Deal. Get the subscription.
Numb. No.
So Adam is going to come by again, and we'll talk all about his new products. Right now, he's helping some people make some fire rosin. So you go to numbnutsco.com. Done Deal at checkout gets you 20% off all the CBD peanut butter shipped anywhere in the United States. If you're in Colorado, click the Find Our Nuts button, and maybe you can find some of their THC-infused peanut butter and their new THC-infused chocolate bars, which might be available on their website somewhere, I believe.
And those are available
anywhere, because they're hemp-derived THC.
Exactly.
Numbnutsco.com.
Ooh, Jerome Baker.
I spoke with Jason.
Oh, there you go.
Okay,
how's Jason
I spoke with Jason.
Yeah.
He's still recovering from not having a studio. He's got to have to. He's working.
The toe or the studio?
He's
Studio
working
toe.
right now.
Studio toe.
And so we were thinking about possibly adding an Adam Dunn Show bong to his list of available bongs.
Maybe.
So we'll talk that through. So you got to go to JeromeBaker.com.
Yep.
And buy some glass. Tell me you heard about it on the show.
See, it's here now. I don't
have
shit.
Oh,
70 lead breeders,
names.
unmatched genetics, the number one in the cannabis seed bank this month. Breeder of the month is Heavy Days Genetics. Flavor of the month, skunk, 20% off. Seeds, buy one, get one free.
Seedsherenow.com. IWantClones.com.
I did pretty good.
It's what I said
You're
about him
fucking
earlier.
crushing it tonight. Cannot wait to say thank you.
Clones.com.
So,
They're an absolute amazing company.
Yeah.
James Bean's customer service is second to none. You will always be satisfied. He
Always
works with
satisfied.
over 70 breeders. Do you know what that's like? It's like what Katie was saying about the dating scene.
It's a lot.
Okay? It's a lot to manage. Okay? SeedsHereNow.com, IWantClones.com. Thank you, everyone, for listening to us every Friday. We really
love you
appreciate
guys.
it.
Don't forget about
We're
us.
thinking those glasses right there are good for your dating profile.
we
We
got?
heard.
I'm
So,
loving these glasses.
Oh, yeah.
look at that.
AdamDunnShow.com. Get a
Oh,
cold
Yeah,
almost
get
jacket.
your Colt jacket. That's crazy.
Almost forgot.
We got
almost forgot.
products.
And
We got merch.
even though we didn't do it tonight because we suck, because we can never get
We
our shit
don't
together.
suck.
Well, we do when it comes to timing.
Hit the like and subscribe button.
Tonight,
And usually, like, usually
Oh, I
like,
need a
we're
hat.
going to do it for this
30
long, and then
bucks.
we'll do
You
it for
fucking
longer.
kidding me?
So, not only did you get your money's worth because we went longer, but we're still going to have to do Patreon. But our new format is that we're tightening the show to a 2-hour window instead of a 3-hour window, but we're extending.
But we're going to have production help
But we're
telling
going-
you, keeping us on
But we're going
point.
straight into Patreon, not lounging around.
not kicking
Not
it.
straight into it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're
No,
gonna.
no, there has to
we're
be a
gonna
break in
keep
5
it-
minutes.
We're gonna keep
Oh,
it
yeah.
flowing.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
No, we still need to do the upload. Upload.
Upload.
Boom.
Mac
But
and
anyway,
cheese.
However, we're
Upload
gonna
mac
we're
and
gonna
cheese,
run
we're
a
back
tighter
at it.
ship.
And we're going to run
Tighter
a little
Got
bit
ships?
longer on the probably on
There's
the
a boat?
on
Yeah.
Patreon.
Yeah.
Kinda
Oh,
bonus.
shit.
We're wanting to
You're
give
gonna
you
get
guys.
more bonuses on Patreon and a tighter show instead of half, because the problem is we let a lot of stuff out of the show that probably should just be Patreon.
You're probably right.
And we're going to know that in our brains. We're going to be like,
Save
that's a
it.
Patreon.
Are we
Yeah,
really?
there's gonna be
Meaning-
a whole Jackie Patreon.
Meaning,
Oh,
And we're
yeah.
inviting
Oh.
him for
Should
just
there-
Patreon.
we should get
'cause
a
I wanna
whiteboard
run
So we could
something-
talk about.
Yeah, we
He's
need the
funny.
we
We
need the hardcore
definitely-
We
version.
gotta have
No,
raw
we need
Jackie
a whiteboard
uncut.
so that when we
Oh, Jackie Uncut.
All right, so wait, we have homework. Katie,
gonna
by
reach out
next
to
Friday,
Jackie.
you're going to watch Private Parts.
I'm gonna watch Jackie's thing and Private Parts.
You watch Private Parts.
And I'm gonna text him.
There you go.
Yeah. So much is happening, guys.
There you go.
We're really
you
excited
were just
about
talking
it
about
and to
dating
share it
older
with
men, and
everybody.
boom.
Yeah, boom.
You manifested it, Katie.
That's
You
what's
manifested.
happening, guys. We're
So
manifesting.
join us over on Patreon. We'll
We
tell
love
you
you.
more about our incredible plans because we actually figure it out as we're going, as you can kind of tell by listening to the show. We have no idea what we're doing. Dave and I never talk.
No.
Oh, if this is
No,
your
we
first
show
time
up. This
watching
is
the
like
show,
a blind date
Try-
every
we
week.
try to
hanging
not.
all the
We
way
show up
through.
and have
I
no
did
fucking
call
idea
you this
what to.
time. I had to
It
double
had nothing to do with anything we were
But
talking about on
we're
the
not
show.
allowed to talk about anything except
No.
for things outside of the show.
Well, you told me those things about Vinny that one
oh,
time.
I told you about, yeah. I gave you all the details.
He got that cleared up? The ointment worked?
Dang.
Good. Good,
Thank
good,
you,
good.
Vinny,
Still burns a
tonight
little
for
bit. Thank you,
showing up.
Vinny.
Mark, we love you.
Mark, we love you.
Sending you and Bonnie so much
Oh,
love.
shit.
And your
Somebody must
mama.
have fucked up. HR is here.
HR's in the house.
Oh, shit. Did you say something inappropriate on the
I'm
show?
so excited.
Oh,
I hope so.
My
I
day
hope so.
just keeps getting better and better.
And
See you
on
guys
that
next
note,
week.
All right.
boom,
Have a good one.
baby.
Practically every one of the top 40 records being played on every radio station in the United States is a communication to the children to take a trip, to cop out, to groove. The song
Tell me how much.
the tea.